Chapter 358. Hearing Hu Chunhua's words, Zhao Wenshi and Zhao Wenshui dashed towards Mu Yanfeng. Mu Yanfeng glanced at Zhao Wenshi and Zhao Wenshui coldly with disdain in his eyes. When the two of them approached him, he raised his leg and kicked Zhao Wenshi and Zhao Wenshui, sending them flying with a kick. Everyone was shocked and opened their mouths. How could he kick them so easily? It was as easy as blowing off dust. The only explanation was that Mu Yanfeng knew kung fu. The villagers had never seen much of the world, and they had never seen anyone who knew kung fu. Therefore, in their opinion, anyone who knew kung fu was extraordinary and not a simple person. After Zhao Wenshi and Zhao Wenshui were sent flying, Mu Yanfeng took a few steps forward and kicked Li Chueying's mouth hard. He had never hit a woman before. It was the way of a gentleman. A man shouldn't hit a woman. However, accidents could happen. When he met a woman who was too cheap, he didn't need to be soft-hearted at all. One of Li Chueying's teeth was kicked out, and blood kept flowing out. The sound of a pig howling was even more tragic. Mu Yanfeng looked coldly at Li Chueying, who was lying on the ground in pain. He had no sympathy for him at all. With a slight smile, Mu Yanfeng said to Li Chueying, who was lying on the ground, "This is what you get for saying the wrong thing. I hope you will remember it next time." You. Hu Chunhua pointed at Mu Yanfeng angrily. This man was too arrogant. Just as Hu Chunhua was about to incite the villagers, Zhao Xinhui suddenly pulled Hu Chunhua back. "Mother, stop it. He is Prince Shizhi." Hearing Zhao Xinhui's words, Hu Chunhua was shocked. She looked at Mu Yanfeng carefully and suddenly remembered that she had seen him before in Yang City. Her heart couldn't help trembling. If it was someone else, it would be fine, but ordinary people didn't dare to touch Prince Shizhi. "Grandmother, it is Prince Shizhi." Zhao Ping also recognized him and said to Hu Chunhua. She stared straight at Mu Yanfeng with admiration in her eyes. She didn't expect Prince Shizhi to be so handsome, and his kung fu was extraordinary. Mu was the type that women liked. When the surrounding villagers heard Mu Yanfeng was Prince Shizhi, they talked about him even more. Looking at Mu Yanfeng's aura, they didn't doubt him at all. But why did Prince Shizhi come to Zhao Yun's house? Could it be that Prince Shizhi had an affair with Zhao Yun? It didn't make sense at all. Maybe Zhao Yun was Prince Shizhi's mistress. The reason why Zhao Yun was able to live a good life these days was because of the money given by the prince. The villagers had a lot of wild imaginations, but it was very different from the real situation. Hu Chunhua was afraid that Mu Yanfeng would argue with her. She was so scared that even her legs began to tremble. She walked shakily to Mu Yanfeng and apologized to Mu Yanfeng. "Prince Shizhi, please don't argue with an old woman like me. I was blind and didn't recognize you." Mu Yanfeng stared coldly at Hu Chunhua. He knew what this old woman had done and said when he was in the house. He restrained himself because it was inconvenient for him to go out. He was afraid that it would affect Zhao Yun's reputation. He didn't expect that they would target Daodu. Chapter 359. Since Zhao Yun wasn't around, he naturally had to protect Daodu. No matter what the reason was, these people shouldn't even think about touching Daodu. "Won't bicker with you?" Mu Yanfeng retorted, then snorted lightly. He wasn't someone who would let others off so easily. Especially someone like Hu Chunhua, who had crossed his bottom line. He wouldn't let them off so easily. "Yes, Your Highness, please don't bicker with an old woman like me. I don't know much." Hu Chunhua immediately cowered when she met Mu Yanfeng's sharp gaze. In the end, she was still afraid that if Mu Yanfeng got angry, she might lose her old life. Zhao Xinhui also took a step forward. Her movements were a little bashful, and her sweet voice rang out. She was pleading for Hu Chunhua in front of Mu Yanfeng. "Your Highness, it's all my mother's fault. She's an ignorant old woman from the countryside who offended you. You're a magnanimous person, surely you won't bicker with such a person, right?" Although she said that she was pleading for Hu Chunhua, it was more accurate to say that she was trying to make her presence known in front of Mu Yanfeng. Mu Yanfeng sized up this mother-daughter pair. One was mean, the other was pretentious. Both of them made him feel disgusted. Daodu, tell me, how should I punish this grandmother of yours? Mu Yanfeng turned around and waved at little Bun. His voice suddenly became much gentler. Daodu walked in front of Mu Yanfeng and glared fiercely at Hu Chunhua. Just now, Hu Chunhua bullied Xiao Mao and stole his family's things. She was really too hateful. Little Bun bit his lower lip, thinking about how to punish Hu Chunhua. Daddy, Daodu can't think of anything. Daddy should think of something, Little Bun said to Mu Yanfeng. How could a child think of something so vicious? Mu Yanfeng chuckled, all right then, Daddy will think about it. Since she was so good at scolding people, he would sew her mouth shut. This way, she won't be able to scold anyone anymore. Mu Yanfeng said it as if it was a very simple thing, but it scared Hu Chunhua. She immediately knelt in front of Mu Yanfeng and said, Your Highness, it's my fault for having a cheap mouth. But you can't sew my mouth shut. I'll die if you do that. Then tell me a punishment method. If I'm satisfied with it, I can consider changing it. Mu Yanfeng's sharp voice rang out again. The aura that erupted from his body made it seem like he was the ruler of the world. How about I slap myself a few times? Hu Chunhua asked cautiously. Mu Yanfeng did not react at all, which meant that this method would not work. Hu Chunhua was a little anxious. She couldn't bring herself to slap herself, hence, she looked at Zhao Xinhui for help, hoping that her daughter could help her come up with an idea. However, Zhao Xinhui looked at Mu Yanfeng fawningly and said to Mu Yanfeng, Your Highness, my mother's mouth is so smelly. Why don't you make her eat a pile of sh*t? Let's see if she still dares to spout nonsense in the future. Zhao Xinhui's words caused the surrounding villagers to burst into laughter. Hu Chunhua really had 8 lifetimes of bad luck to have such a daughter. It was the first time she had seen such a scammer. Ha ha ha, interesting. This daughter of old Zhao is really interesting. If my daughter was like this, I would skin her alive. Chapter 360. Who's going to marry his daughter? Each one of them is weirder than the other. Zhao Xinhui has wasted her good looks for nothing. It's as if she's brainless. She's already treating her own mother like this. How can she treat you well after marrying her? Whoever becomes her mother-in-law will be infuriated to death. Ha ha ha, Auntie Zhao is so pitiful. She doted on her daughter for nothing and treated her like a treasure. Great, now she's here to trick her. The surrounding villagers laughed happily. It was rare to see such a joke. Hu Chunhua was dumbfounded when she heard Zhao Xinhui's words. How could her daughter say such things about her? She asked her to give her advice, but in the end, she tricked her even more. Hu Chunhua was furious, but she couldn't vent her anger on Zhao Xinhui. She muttered in Zhao Xinhui's ear, how could you say such things? How could you let your mother eat shit? Hu Chunhua's tone was a little reproachful, but Zhao Xinhui didn't care and said, Mother, what's wrong with eating shit? Didn't Yun feed you some last time? If this method isn't vicious, Master Shitzi won't let you off. Don't tell me you want Master Shitzi to sew your mouth shut or lose an arm or a leg. Hu Chunhua was a little frightened by Zhao Xinhui's words. According to Zhao Xinhui, it was indeed better than having her mouth sewed, limbs broken, and having to eat shit. Mother, I'm doing this for your own good. You're already so old and can't bear the torture, but Master Shitzi definitely won't let you off easily. If Master Shitzi agrees to this method, you'll benefit greatly. Hu Chunhua nodded repeatedly as Zhao Xinhui spoke. She felt that her daughter was right. Hui, you're still the smart one. Of course. Zhao Xinhui raised her chin, feeling a little proud. Although she said that to Hu Chunhua, she couldn't help but snort coldly in her heart. Her mother was really stupid. Her mother believed whatever she said. If it were her, she would rather kill her than eat sh*t, whatever, as long as her mother was willing to eat it, it was fine. After all, she was afraid of death, so she could only come up with this method. This method could help Hu Chunhua solve her problem and please Mu Yanfeng at the same time. As expected, after Mu Yanfeng heard Zhao Xinhui's idea, he also curled his lips and looked at Zhao Xinhui a few more times. Zhao Xinhui lowered her head shyly. That's a good idea. Go ahead and eat. I'll let you go after you've eaten. Mu Yanfeng said with a faint smile on his face. At this moment, other than being angry, he also wanted to tease Hu Chunhua. Your Highness, you really want to eat sh*t? Hu Chunhua asked with a bitter face. What do you think? But there's no sh*t here. Hu Chunhua muttered. How could she eat it in front of so many people? If there's no sh*t, then go ahead and get it. Mu Yanfeng replied indifferently. This. Hu Chunhua frowned and was in a difficult position. When Mu Yanfeng glared at her, she was very afraid. Zhao Ping, go and get some sh*t here. Zhao Xinhui instructed Zhao Ping, When Zhao Pinger's name was called, she frowned. Her face was filled with unwillingness. Auntie, why me? If it's not you, who else can get it? Hurry up and go, before your highness gets angry and sews my mother's mouth shut. Zhao Xinhui said fiercely. Chapter 361. Her aunt only knew how to bully her. Zhao Pinger was very displeased. There were so many people in her house. Why was there no one else? She probably thought that she was easy to bully. Seeing that Zhao Pinger was still in a daze, Hu Chunhua urged her, Pinger, your aunt is right. Hurry up and get some. Zhao Pinger curled her lips. Oh. But how am I supposed to scoop the milk? She couldn't grab it with her hands, right? That would be too disgusting. Go to Zhao Yun'er's kitchen and get a bowl. Zhao Xinhui replied. Oh. Zhao Pinger reluctantly went to Zhao Yun'er's kitchen and got a bowl. Then she walked to the back of Zhao Yun'er's house. Before long, she arrived at Zhao Yun'er's latrine. Zhao Pinger looked into Zhao Yun'er's latrine and was almost disgusted. If she took the bowl to scoop the feces, wouldn't her hands be stained with feces? Wouldn't it stink? Zhao Pinger pinched her nose and felt disgusted. She hurriedly rushed to the side and began to retch. It was too much. Why did she have to do such a disgusting thing? Zhao Pinger complained while thinking about how to get feces. Suddenly, an idea came to her. She seemed to have thought of something and rushed out again with the bowl. She found a place where no one could see her. Zhao Pinger took off her pants and pooped in the bowl. Then she pulled a few leaves and casually wiped her butt. After tying her pants again, Zhao Pinger's body trembled. She pinched her nose with one hand and picked up the bowl with the other hand. The feces in the bowl were steaming. Zhao Pinger couldn't help but mutter in her heart. Her grandmother shouldn't blame her. Compared to Zhao Yun'er's poop, which was still filled with maggots in the latrine pit, her poop was definitely much better. Although it was disgusting, thinking about it, she wanted to throw up. She didn't know whether her aunt was stupid or not. How could she come up with such an idea? Her grandmother even agreed. Fortunately, it wasn't her grandmother who ate feces, but her grandmother. Zhao Pinger suddenly felt a little gloated. She hurriedly ran to the front yard of Zhao Yun'er's house. Grandma, I got it. Zhao Pinger ran to Hu Chunhua and handed the bowl with feces in her hand to Hu Chunhua. As soon as Hu Chunhua saw the steaming feces, she knew what Zhao Pinger had done. So she couldn't help but curse, you wicked girl, I asked you to get me a little. You actually pooped a big bowl for me. Did you do it on purpose? I usually give you good food, so you pooped such a big bowl all of a sudden. So much feces. Hu Chunhua's mouth was like a laser gun. She really couldn't control herself. If she wanted to eat feces, couldn't she just take a bite? Mu Yanfeng didn't say much. Maybe he would let her go after taking a bite of Mu Yanfeng. So when Zhao Ping'er went to get the feces, she should only get a little bit. Who would expect that Zhao Ping'er was an idiot and pooped a full bowl by herself? How could she eat so much feces? Zhao Ping'er curled her lips. She was unhappy in her heart. It was really a thankless task. Chapter 362. When Zhao Ping'er mentioned Zhao Xinhui immediately became unhappy and said, "Zhao Ping'er, what are you saying? This kind of thing is for someone like you to do. How could you let me do it? Of course, my Hui can't do it. Ping'er, you damned girl, I'll deal with you later." Hu Chunhua glared at Zhao Ping'er. Zhao Ping knew that she couldn't argue with Hu Chunhua and Zhao Xinhui, so she simply stopped talking. Compared to arguing with Hu Chunhua, it was more enjoyable to watch the show by herself. Hu Chunhua was scolding. Mu Yanfeng raised his eyebrows with displeasure. "What are you waiting for? Do you want to eat it or not?" Hu Chunhua trembled in fear. She didn't feel anything before, but now she suddenly saw the feces in the bowl. Hu Chunhua was so disgusted that she couldn't eat it. "Lord Air, it's too disgusting. I can't eat it," Hu Chunhua said and turned her head away. She didn't want to look at it, let alone eat it. "Do you mean you regret it?" Mu Yanfeng cast a fierce glance at Hu Chunhua again, which scared her. "Lord Air, I'll eat it. I'll eat it, okay." Hu Chunhua closed her eyes and frowned tightly. She pinched her nose with one hand and moved closer to the bowl. The onlookers almost laughed out loud. They had seen many strange things, but Hu Chunhua was probably the only one who saw someone eat feces in public. It was so interesting. Just when Hu Chunhua's face was getting closer and closer to the bowl, there was a sudden scolding. "Old woman, are you really eating feces? Don't you feel ashamed?" It was Zhao Baoshan's voice. Zhao Baoshan's tone was full of displeasure. Seeing the laughter of the onlookers and what Hu Chunhua was doing, he really wanted to find a hole to hide in. If she ate feces, old Zhao's family would be laughed at by the villagers for the rest of their lives. He had just heard that something happened to Zhao Yun, and other members of old Zhao's family were rushing here, so he went to Lu Fugue's place and asked him to come. He thought that as the village chief, Lu Fugue should be able to talk to the soldiers. Maybe he could help Zhao Yun. He didn't expect that when he finally managed to get Lu Fugue to come over, he would see Hu Chunhua eating sh*t. Hu Chunhua and the other members of the Zhao family regained their senses after hearing Zhao Baoshan scolding. "Old man, Gu Ning said." Hu Chunhua wanted to explain, but Zhao Baoshan stepped forward and directly threw the bowl in Hu Chunhua's hand away. "You may be shameless, but I'm not. If you dare to eat feces today, I'll divorce you." "Old man." Hu Chunhua wanted to explain again. She didn't want to eat feces, but if she didn't, Prince Shizhi would punish her and she would be killed. She didn't want to die, but she also didn't want her mouth to be sewn shut. After weighing the pros and cons, she made the decision. Without waiting for Hu Chunhua to say anything, Zhao Baoshan vented his anger on the other members of the Zhao family. "You guys are really something. Don't you know how to stop her when I'm not around? What are you doing? Aren't you afraid of being laughed at?" Old Zhao's family felt aggrieved to be scolded by Zhao Baoshan. Zhao Wenxue said, "Father, you can't blame us. We can't stop mother from eating feces. You know my mother's character." "That's right, father. Speaking of which, it's more appropriate for you to blame little sister. She was the one who came up with the idea to make mother eat shit." Zhao Wenshi also interjected, pushing all the blame onto Zhao Xinhui. "Sorry, I can't control myself. Why did I write these things? By the way, I want to ask for your votes. Normally, there will be 4 chapters. Chapter 363. Zhao Baoshan's resentful gaze landed on Zhao Xinhui. Zhao Xinhui was also a little frightened by Zhao Baoshan's glare. He muttered, "Father, I'm doing this for mother, aren't I?" The heir apparent said to sew her mouth shut, "So this is the only way. We can't let mother die, right?" Hua Chunhua also hurriedly replied, "That's right, old man. You can't blame Hui-er. Hui-er is doing this for my own good." Zhao Baoshan glared at the mother and daughter pair, Hua Chunhua and Zhao Xinhui, as if they had failed to meet his expectations. Their brains were simply filled with sh*t. It would be better to sew their mouths shut than to do such a shameful thing in front of the entire village. Hua Chunhua and Zhao Xinhui were so frightened that they did not dare to say anything. Zhao Baoshan was the most powerful person in the family, so they had to listen to Zhao Baoshan at all times. Zhao Tianxue asked, "Father, what should we do now?" Zhao Baoshan snorted softly and walked over to Mu Yanfeng. "They say that you are the heir apparent, but who can prove that you are the heir apparent? It's not good to treat my wife like this, is it?" Mu Yanfeng sized up Zhao Baoshan. This old man was somewhat different. He was smarter than the rest of old Zhao's family. Zhao Xinhui and Zhao Ping hurriedly said, "Father, he is the heir apparent." "That's right, master. He is the heir apparent. I've known for a long time." Regardless of whether he was the heir apparent or not, Zhao Baoshan could not admit that Mu Yanfeng was the heir apparent. Otherwise, with his wife's temper, she would be so frightened that she would eat sh*t in front of the villagers. Even he would not be able to stop her. Zhao Baoshan glared at Zhao Xinhui and Zhao Ping. "Shut up, you two." At this moment, Lu Fugue also walked over. Lu Fugue was different from the other villagers. He had more considerations. Like Zhao Baoshan, he questioned Mu Yanfeng's identity. "Right now, we don't know if you are the heir, so we can't cause trouble in our Changfeng village. If the people of our village have offended you in any way, you can settle the score with them in the future," Lu Fugue said. After Zhao Baoshan and Lu Fugue said this, the surrounding villagers also began to doubt the authenticity of Mu Yanfeng's identity. It looked like it, but it also didn't. If this wasn't the case, wouldn't old Zhao's family lose even more face? He had been played for a fool. The corners of Mu Yanfeng's mouth curled up slightly. Naturally, he couldn't prove his identity now because he didn't have the token with him. "All right, I'll let her go for now. But remember this matter. I'll ask for it the next time you come." Mu Yanfeng glanced at Hua Chunhua and said. He definitely wouldn't let Hua Chunhua off so easily. "Then I'll thank you in advance, young master," Lu Fugue said. Mu Yanfeng snorted lightly, "Since you are so righteous, I hope you can handle today's matter properly." This old woman wanted to snatch Yun-er's things and kidnap Dauda to sell. I wonder how the village rules will punish her. When Lu Fugue heard this, he frowned and looked at Hua Chunhua. He also didn't know the truth of the matter. He didn't expect Hua Chunhua to actually do these things. This old woman was too inhumane, wasn't she? It was fine if she didn't help Yun-er when something happened, but she actually wanted to take advantage of her. Lu Fugue coughed lightly. "Of course they should be punished. As the village chief, I won't let them run amok. When Yun-er comes back, let Auntie Zhao come over to apologize. Also, they definitely can't touch Yun-er's things. Otherwise, they will be expelled from the village." Chapter 364. Old Zhao's family members began to panic after hearing Lu Fugue's words. It wasn't easy for them to get something from Zhao Yun-er, but now they had to return it. Their plan to have a meal of refined rice tonight was probably ruined. Hua Chunhua also felt the pinch, but compared to Mu Yanfeng making her eat sh*t and sew her mouth shut, she could still accept it. Mu Yanfeng took a deep look at Lu Fugue. "Since that's the case, please do as you say." Mu Yanfeng then carried Daudu and said to Daudu, "Let's go, Daudu. Daddy will take you to Yang City." Zhao Yun had been taken away by the soldiers, so there was no point for him to stay at Zhao Yun-er's house. He couldn't be of any help, and waiting would only make him anxious. Dao De naturally wouldn't leave Zhao Yun's parents to take care of him. With He Chunhua's personality, it would be even more dangerous for Dao De to be taken care of by them. Yes, yes. Dao De nodded. Zhao Baoshan saw that Mu Yanfeng was about to leave with Dao De, so he hurriedly asked, Lord, why are you taking my great-grandson away? Mu Yanfeng smiled sarcastically. So old Zhao's family also acknowledges Dao De's identity? Ah. Zhao Baoshan knew what Mu Yanfeng meant, and he looked a little ashamed. Mu Yanfeng continued, he's my son, so of course I'm taking him away. When comes back, I'll send Dao De back. Mu Yanfeng left with Dao De, leaving old Zhao's family members behind in shock. Many of the villagers were curious and gossipy. Is this man really Dao De's father? They look alike. The two of them look so alike. That's right. It's obvious that they are father and son. Looks like Yun'er and this man gave birth to Dao De. Now, he's come knocking on our door. Sigh, Yun'er found a man and gave birth to a child before she even got married. Now, she even brought a man home directly. How could she do such a thing? She's really not afraid of being embarrassed. What can we do? However, if this person was the heir apparent, then wouldn't Yun'er be living a happy life? Are you going to be the princess consort in the future? I don't think that man is the crown prince. How could the crown prince be dressed so shabbily? Their clothes aren't much better than ours. Moreover, he's staying in Yun'er's shabby room. Shouldn't he be bringing Yun'er to the heir manor to enjoy life? The villagers were talking about it. Others didn't know, but Zhao Ping'er and Zhao Xinhui clearly knew that Mu Yanfeng was indeed the crown prince. They didn't know why Mu Yanfeng stayed in Zhao Yun'er's room, but the clothes he wore at that time weren't simple. He Chunhua opened her mouth. Is Dao De really the crown prince's son? Seeing the shock on He Chunhua's face, Zhao Baoshan and Lu Fugue exchanged a glance and thought of what had happened 3 years ago. The person who bought Zhao Yun'er at that time was a big shot. Could it be that the crown prince was the crown prince? Zhao Xinhui snorted softly. Mother, what are you thinking about? Why are you thinking about these impossible things? Do you know who the crown prince is? How could he fall in love with Zhao Yun'er? He can have any woman he wants. Even if he wanted to find a woman, she was prettier than Zhao Yun'er. The crown prince should be interested in her, right? Hearing Zhao Xinhui's words, He Chunhua felt that it made sense. Zhao Yun'er was just a little girl from the countryside. How could she be a match for the crown prince? Chapter 365. Maybe His Highness doesn't have any children, so he wants to adopt Dao De as his son because he's so cute, Zhao Xinhui replied. Old Zhao's family thought for a while and agreed that it was indeed possible. All right, let's not talk about this anymore. Hurry up and go home. Don't embarrass yourselves here. Zhao Baoshan urged. In fact, he was afraid that the more these people talked about it, the easier it would be for them to find out what they had done in the past. At that time, he couldn't afford to be embarrassed. Lu Fugue also urged the onlooking villagers to leave. For a moment, Zhao Yun'er's house was quiet again. Zhao Yun'er followed the soldiers to Yang City and was directly sent to prison. Official Gij, I still don't know what's going on. Am I going to stay here tonight? Zhao Yun couldn't help but ask. She felt that it was a little strange that she was caught. In the 21st century, people would be arrested and explained clearly to the people who were arrested. However, in the ancient times, the government wouldn't explain so much to the people who were arrested. Your case will be heard by our county magistrate in 2 days. You'll know then, the constable replied. But, all right, there's no need to ask so many questions. Miss, you can go in now. The constable pushed Zhao Yun'er in front of a prison cell. Hey, officer, don't go. Zhao Yun called the constable again. Since the other party didn't want to tell her, she had to use some method. Thus, she handed over the last tael of silver she had on her to the constable and pleaded, "Official Gidge, use this money to buy some tea later. Can you tell me what crime I committed? It won't be a big deal even if I tell you, right? I won't cause trouble. I just want to know. Otherwise, I won't be so nervous if I don't know." The constable met Zhao Yun's pleading eyes and looked at the silver in Zhao Yun's hand. He thought that Zhao Yun was a pitiful woman. She was right, so he took the silver from Zhao Yun's hand and said to Zhao Yun, "Someone in the Fulin restaurant was poisoned to death after eating the dish called bullfrog. The innkeeper said that he got the ingredients from you. Right now, the innkeeper and the chef of the Fulin restaurant are in jail. They're waiting for their arraignment in 2 days. Our county magistrate will get to the bottom of this. If young Miss is innocent, the county magistrate will definitely give young Miss justice." After the constable finished speaking, he left. Zhao Yun finally figured out what was going on. There was something wrong with the bullfrog in restaurant. She knew whether there was anything wrong with the bullfrog she sent. It wasn't poisonous, so nothing would happen no matter how much she ate. Moreover, every time she sent the food over, Zhao Yun would carefully check to make sure there was no toad mixed in. She suddenly thought of Qin Hailan. That woman directly caught the toad and probably mixed it in with the bullfrog and gave it to Sun Zhongquan. Sun Zhongquan didn't admit it in front of her, but he definitely received the bullfrog from Qin Hailan in private. Zhao Yun wasn't angry that Sun Zhongquan received the food from Qin Hailan. She was angry that Sun Zhongquan actually pushed the blame to her after the incident. The case hadn't been heard yet, so she couldn't defend herself now. She hoped that the county magistrate would give her a chance to defend herself when the case was heard in 2 days. Chapter 366. Zhao Yun couldn't help but frown. Wasn't this smell a little too unpleasant? The environment in this ancient prison really couldn't be compared to the one in the 21st century. How was this a place for people to stay? Even a pigsty wasn't this dirty. She still had to stay in this place for 2 more days. Zhao Yun felt uncomfortable just thinking about it, and felt uncomfortable all over. There were already a few women in the cell where Zhao Yun was, and they were all dirty all over. Seeing Zhao Yun come over, they said to Zhao Yun, "Miss, just find a place to sit down." These people's attitude towards Zhao Yun was still quite amiable, which made Zhao Yun feel somewhat gratified. One had to know that in the 21st century, newcomers were easily bullied in prison. Zhao Yun smiled at these women and looked into the prison to find a place to sit down. Everywhere was dirty, and there wasn't a clean place. "Miss, since you're here, don't dislike this and that. Hurry up and sit down," a woman persuaded. When they first came in, they also thought it was too dirty. Later, they found that there was no other way. They couldn't keep standing. Zhao Yun was conflicted in her heart for a moment, but finally accepted it. So she found a place to sit down by the corner. But after sitting for a while, she felt something drilling under her butt, and then it made a squeaking sound. Zhao Yun jumped up in fright and screamed. She found a fat black rat scurrying out. It was too disgusting. The others in the prison felt that Zhao Yun was making a fuss over nothing. They persuaded her, "Miss, don't be afraid. There are many rats in this cell. You'll be fine once you get used to it." Zhao Yun felt that there was a mouthful of blood in her chest, and she almost spat out a mouthful of blood. How was this comforting? After saying it, she was even more afraid. Originally, she thought that if it was a little dirty and smelly, she could endure it in the cell for 2 days. Now that she saw these rats, how could she bear it? What if she was bitten by a rat when she fell asleep? Zhao Yun had goosebumps when she imagined the scene of the mice gathering together. "Miss, please sit with us. We have fewer rats here." A woman greeted Zhao Yun out of kindness. The woman said that there were fewer rats, not that there were no rats. Zhao Yun was still scared witless. Zhao Yun'er forced a smile and said, "Thank you, auntie. I think I'll just stand." The woman did not continue to persuade her. She knew that when Zhao Yun'er was tired from standing, she would sit down obediently. Zhao Yun'er leaned against the wooden bars. Facing the pitch-black prison cell, she felt a trace of fear for the first time. After standing for an hour or two, Zhao Yun'er's legs were numb and uncomfortable. If she could hold on for one night, her legs would probably be crippled. Leaning against the wooden bars, Zhao Yun'er was tired and scared, but no one could save her at this time. "Zhao Yun'er, come out." A jailer walked over and said to Zhao Yun'er. Zhao Yun'er was a little curious. She had only been here for 2 hours. Why was she released so soon? It should be night now. According to the news, there shouldn't be any trial. What was going on? "Come out quickly, what are you waiting for?" The jailer urged again. "Oh," Zhao Yun'er responded. Chapter 367. Walking out of the cell, Zhao Yun'er followed the jailer. She didn't know where the jailer was taking her. Would she be subjected to those ancient punishments and then beaten to the point of hovering between life and death? Through this method, she would be tortured into confessing that she had something to do with the poisoning of the bullfrog in the restaurant. Zhao Yun'er had watched many TV dramas, so she was familiar with some ancient punishments. Once she pictured the scene in her mind, her legs couldn't help trembling. In addition, she had stood for a long time in the past 2 days, so her legs were already numb and weak. It was very difficult for her to walk. "Sir, can you tell me what I'm going to do?" asked Zhao Yun'er in a trembling voice. "What are you afraid of?" The jailer heard the trembling in Zhao Yun'er's voice, so he replied with a smile. Zhao Yun'er curled her lips. "Sir, how can I not be afraid? What if you brand me with a red-hot iron later, whip me, and pinch my fingers with a wooden stick?" Zhao Yun'er told the jailer all the punishments she could think of. The more she said, the more scared she became. How could the ancient punishments be used? They would definitely make people suffer more than they would if they were alive. Once Zhao Yun'er thought of it, she couldn't help trembling in fear. She was a normal person after all, and she also had things that she was afraid of. Seeing Zhao Yun'er talking a lot, the jailer couldn't help laughing. "Miss, I think you're thinking too much." "Huh? What do you mean by that? Aren't these the torture methods in your prison?" The jailer twitched the corner of his mouth. "The punishments in our prison are much scarier than what you've just said." "What?" Hearing that, Zhao Yun'er was even more scared. Seeing Zhao Yun'er's pale face, the jailer hurriedly explained, "Who told you that you're going to be punished? Isn't it?" "No, miss, you're lucky. They're going to let you go." Zhao Yun'er was puzzled. "Little brother, why did you let me go? Could it be that my innocence has been proven?" The jailer had been working in prison for so many years, but he had never seen a woman like Zhao Yun'er. He didn't feel annoyed at all. Instead, he felt that Zhao Yun'er was very interesting. The jailer shook his head. "No, miss, it's Lord Shitzi who wants to let you go, so you don't have to stay in prison tonight." Hearing Mu Yanfeng's name, Mu Yanfeng was surprised. She didn't expect Mu Yanfeng to come to save her so soon. "But am I going out just like that?" The jailer felt that Zhao Yun had a lot of questions, but he still patiently explained, "What is the identity of the heir? How could we, the government, not give them face when they asked for it? But your case still has to be tried. Lord Shitzi promises that he will send you here on the day of the trial." Zhao Yun'er nodded. "So that's how it is." The purpose of detention was to prevent criminals from escaping in advance. Since they could guarantee that they would be present during the trial, it didn't matter whether they were in the prison or in the Shitzi's residence. The jailer couldn't help but look Zhao Yun'er up and down. "Miss, you look quite ordinary. I didn't expect you to be related to Lord Shitzi. You're really something." Zhao Yun'er smiled awkwardly. "I just happened to help Lord Shitzi with a small favor." Chapter 368. Oh, okay. Zhao Yun nodded. Just as she was about to quicken her pace, her legs started to hurt even more. She had been standing there for too long and had to start walking before she could rest. Ouch! Zhao Yun walked and walked, suddenly she fell down and fell to the ground. The jailer hurriedly asked, "Miss, are you all right?" Zhao Yun shook her head and hammered her legs. "I'm fine. It's just that my legs don't listen to me and I can't walk properly. But we can't let the crown prince wait for too long. Miss, come, let me help you," the jailer said as he came over to help Zhao Yun. Thank you, brother. You're welcome," the jailer replied. In fact, he was usually not so patient with prisoners. Today, he had a good impression of Zhao Yun. Moreover, Zhao Yun was the crown prince's woman, so he was a little more polite. The jailer walked Zhao Yun to the door of the prison. Mu Yanfeng was standing outside the door. After Mu Yanfeng returned to the crown prince's residence, he changed into a new set of clothes. The purple brocade robe enhanced his temperament. That handsome appearance could not help but attract Zhao Yun's attention. This man was really a demon. When he was in her house, his clothes were a little tattered and she did not feel much. Now that he had changed into a new set of clothes, his original handsomeness and temperament appeared again. Sure enough, it was better for Mu Yanfeng to stay in Yang City. What had she done to him in her house? A peerless handsome man was holed up in her shabby thatched hut. No matter how handsome he was, he would be overshadowed. When Mu Yanfeng saw Zhao Yun, he was a little excited. But when he saw the jailer holding Zhao Yun's arm, his eyes immediately darkened. Mu Yanfeng took a step forward and pushed the jailer away from Zhao Yun. The prison guards still had not figured out what had happened. He lay on the ground with a confused look on his face. Zhao Yun was also stunned. Why did Mu Yanfeng bully people? Before Zhao Yun and the jailer could figure out what had happened, Mu Yanfeng's stern voice sounded, "What did you do to Yun? Is this an abuse of power? Tell me." The jailer was so frightened by Mu Yanfeng's cold voice that he trembled. He knelt on the ground and said to Mu Yanfeng, "Your Highness, you've wronged me. I really didn't do that. We didn't abuse the law." Zhao Yun looked at Mu Yanfeng's angry face. It turned out that he cared about her and was afraid that she would be wronged. She felt a little happy in her heart. "Young Master Mu, they really didn't torture me. You misunderstood." Zhao Yun helped the prison guard to explain. "Then you..." Mu Yanfeng looked at Zhao Yun and frowned. "I've been standing in the prison for a long time, so my legs hurt so much that I can't walk properly. It's all thanks to this little brother's help that I can walk out." Seeing that Zhao Yun was helping him to explain, the prison guard also cast a grateful look at Zhao Yun. Mu Yanfeng was silent for a moment. Then, he suddenly took a step forward and directly carried Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun's feet left the ground in an instant. In a panic, she hugged Mu Yanfeng and pressed her face against Mu Yanfeng's chest. "Young Master Mu," Zhao Yun looked at Mu Yanfeng in surprise. She didn't know what Mu Yanfeng meant. "Since your legs can't move, I'll carry you," Mu Yanfeng explained. There was a hint of nervousness in his tone. Chapter 369. Zhao Yun was a little worried about the wound on Mu Yanfeng's arm. It was still in the process of forming a scab. If he used too much strength, it would probably tear again. Wouldn't that hurt to death? It wasn't like she couldn't walk with her legs. Mu Yanfeng could support her. Being held in his arms, Zhao Yun felt a little strange. There was also an ambiguous atmosphere between her and Mu Yanfeng. "My wound is fine now. You don't have to worry," Mu Yanfeng's pleasant voice whispered into Zhao Yun's ear. His warm breath instantly blew into Zhao Yun's ear. Zhao Yun's face also turned red. "Young Master Mu, you should put me down. I can walk on my own." Zhao Yun couldn't help but struggle a few times. She patted Mu Yanfeng's shoulder. If Mu Yanfeng continued to hold her, wouldn't she be embarrassed to death? Just as Zhao Yun was struggling, Mu Yanfeng grabbed Zhao Yun's hand and whispered into Zhao Yun's ear, "Don't move." Mu Yanfeng's tone was commanding. Zhao Yun saw that he was still holding her tightly. She was afraid that she would continue to move. Mu Yanfeng was fine at first, but in the end, because of her, she pulled on his wound instead. Mu Yanfeng's body had a faint fresh scent. It smelled very good. Zhao Yun couldn't help but swallow her saliva. The feeling of being hugged by Mu Yanfeng was very strange. This man's embrace was really big. His solid chest seemed to be able to give her something to lean on. If Mu Yanfeng hadn't come today, she might have to stay in prison for 2 days. How hopeless would that be? Every time she was in trouble, he was by her side and helped her in time. She had lived for more than 20 years in her previous life, but she had never met someone who treated her like this. "Young Master Mu. Why are you so good to me?" Zhao Yun couldn't help but ask. Mu Yanfeng's body trembled slightly. "Because Miss Yuner also saved me. It's only right that I do this for you." Zhao Yuner smiled bitterly. "Is that the only reason?" She even thought that it was an unrequited love. "Of course not." Mu Yanfeng replied. Zhao Yun's heart, which had sunk down, suddenly recovered a lot. Zhao Yuner waited expectantly for Mu Yanfeng's answer. She wanted to hear what Mu Yanfeng had to say. Mu Yanfeng's lips curled up slightly. Zhao Yuner looked up and happened to see his good-looking side profile. He was so handsome that it was a mess. "Miss Yuner, you are very special. You have an inexplicable attraction to me, so I can't help but want to protect you." Mu Yanfeng answered honestly. Zhao Yuner's heart trembled. Was Mu Yanfeng confessing? If it wasn't for the huge gap between the two of them, Zhao Yuner really wanted to be together with Mu Yanfeng. The atmosphere between the two of them became even more ambiguous. Mu Yanfeng tactfully kept his mouth shut when Zhao Yuner didn't say anything. If Zhao Yuner didn't have any feelings for him, the more he said, the harder it would be to get along with her in the future. After a while, Mu Yanfeng carried her into the carriage. The carriage belonged to the heir apparent's residence. They had specially come to pick up Zhao Yuner. Zhao Yuner couldn't help but ask, "Young Master Mu, am I really going to stay at the heir apparent's residence tonight?" Mu Yanfeng nodded. "Yes, where else would Miss Yuner go?" Chapter 370. It's okay, it's no trouble. Mu Yanfeng smiled faintly. Then, okay. It was good that it was not troublesome. If it was troublesome, Mu Yanfeng could just get her a room in the inn. "Young Master Mu, thank you for coming back to help me get out of prison. Did you go back to Yang City alone? Did you hand Daodu over to my parents?" She was most worried about Daodu. Such a young child could not do without her taking care of him. Daodu was probably worried and afraid now, right? Speaking of Zhao Yun's parents, Mu Yanfeng's expression was a little ugly. He did not want to mention those people from old Zhao's family. If he handed Daodu over to Zhao Yun's parents, who knew what would happen? However, Mu Yanfeng did not want to tell Zhao Yun about what old Zhao's family had done after Zhao Yun left. He was afraid that Zhao Yun would be angered to death if she heard about it. He would naturally deal with what old Zhao's family had done later. "I've brought Daodu back. He's now resting in the Shizi's residence. He said that he would wait for you to go back for dinner." Zhao Yun nodded. "Young Master Mu, thank you. I've troubled you with Daodu's matter." Mu Yanfeng smiled and said, "You're welcome. I've also troubled Yun a lot during this period of time. These are all things that I should do." As soon as Mu Yanfeng finished speaking, the carriage jolted, and the two people in the carriage swayed. Zhao Yun suddenly fell towards Mu Yanfeng. Their faces were very close, and Zhao Yun's lips brushed across Mu Yanfeng's cheek. Their eyes met, and Zhao Yun's heart could not help but skip a beat. She quickly avoided Mu Yanfeng's body. However, Mu Yanfeng did not give her the chance. Mu Yanfeng grabbed Zhao Yun's hand and kissed her on the lips. Mu Yanfeng's lips lingered on Zhao Yun's lips for a while, savoring the aftertaste. Zhao Yun was a little overwhelmed by this sudden incident. The sensation on her lips was exceptionally clear. She was stunned and her mind went blank for a moment. Heavens! Who could tell her what was going on? Was she kissed by Mu Yanfeng? After a few seconds, Zhao Yun confirmed that it was true. Mu Yanfeng really kissed her. Zhao Yun wanted to struggle, but Mu Yanfeng immediately reached out another hand and restrained the back of her head. Otherwise, Zhao Yun would have had a chance to struggle. After Mu Yanfeng kissed for about 2 to 3 minutes, he slowly let go of Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun's entire face was as red as a monkey's butt. After being suddenly released, she could not help but gasp for breath and take in large mouthfuls of fresh air. Crazy, crazy, did Mu Yanfeng know what he was doing? Why was he so impulsive? Mu Yanfeng licked the corners of his mouth as if he was savoring the aftertaste. He was also hot-headed just now and could not help but kiss Zhao Yun. After he reacted, he realized what he had done. Young Master Mu, you, Zhao Yun did not know what to say for a moment. Should she blame Mu Yanfeng? Miss Yun, I was impulsive. I will take responsibility for you. Before Zhao Yun could question him, Mu Yanfeng spoke. This was the first time he kissed a woman and could not control his inner impulse to kiss her. Since it had already happened, as a man, he naturally had to bear the consequences. Zhao Yun was slightly stunned. Chapter 371. Miss Yun, since I've kissed you, I'll take responsibility for you. Men and women shouldn't touch each other, so we're not husband and wife. We shouldn't be so intimate. Yun, shall I marry you? This was the second time Mu Yanfeng had said this. The last time, he was half joking. Zhao Yun didn't know if Mu Yanfeng was serious or what he meant. Now that Mu Yanfeng said it in an extremely serious manner, Zhao Yun knew that Mu Yanfeng wasn't joking. He was a mature adult. Naturally, he knew the consequences of saying this and what it meant. Zhao Yun's lips twitched. She was shocked by Mu Yanfeng's words. Young Master Mu, aren't you being too responsible? Our matter isn't at the stage of marriage yet. Wasn't it just a kiss? As a person from the 21st century, she could still see things quite clearly. In the 21st century, it was very normal for couples to kiss. If they got married with a kiss, who knew how many couples would get together because of this? Miss Yun, do you not want to marry me? Mu Yanfeng looked sad. Zhao Yun's lips twitched. How could she mean that? He was really overthinking. No. Young Master Mu, I just don't think it's necessary. Zhao Yun coughed lightly, feeling a little awkward. Her face was burning. She hadn't digested Mu Yanfeng's kiss yet. Sure enough, a man and a woman alone couldn't be in the same room. Perhaps something could happen between the two of them even if they didn't have anything to do with each other. Zhao Yun lowered her head shyly. In Mu Yanfeng's eyes, it was very pleasant. Mu Yanfeng's throat moved. He had never been so moved by a woman before. Thus, he held Zhao Yun's hand and said, Yun, if I say that I like you, will you marry me? Zhao Yun was stunned. Was this a proposal? Perhaps Mu Yanfeng had deliberately kissed her just now to find an excuse to marry her. Meeting Mu Yanfeng's burning gaze, Zhao Yun felt a little breathless and wanted to escape. Yun, marry me. I'll take good care of you and Daodu. Mu Yanfeng's voice rang in Zhao Yun's ears again. This sentence was like a promise. There was such a man behind her that she could rely on. No matter how strong Zhao Yun was, she was still a woman. Mu Yanfeng's words touched her. If she rejected him, Mu Yanfeng would probably be disappointed. Moreover, she didn't want to refuse, young Master Mu. If I marry you, won't your parents object? Zhao Yun asked. She was worried that the distance between them was too great. Those people in the heir presumptive's residence wouldn't easily agree to her marriage with Mu Yanfeng. She didn't want to be with Mu Yanfeng. It was just a casual remark. It couldn't even be put on the table. Leave this matter to me. I'll take care of it. Mu Yanfeng gave her a promise. Zhao Yun bit her lower lip and continued, young Master Mu, I have my own requirements for choosing a husband. My husband can only marry me and only me alone for the rest of his life. If you can't do it, don't mention this matter again. In ancient times, it was normal for a man to have 3 wives and 4 concubines. For someone of Mu Yanfeng's status, it was even more impossible for him to only have 1 woman. However, she was a woman in the 21st century. She couldn't share her husband with another woman. No matter how much she liked Mu Yanfeng, if he had 3 wives and 4 concubines, she would stay far away. Chapter 372. Other than Zhao Yun, he felt that there shouldn't be any other woman who could make him feel special and walk into his heart. Mu Yanfeng really answered straightforwardly. Then about our marriage, we'll talk about it after you've settled it. Zhao Yun didn't know how to face Mu Yanfeng for a moment. Were the two of them officially in a relationship? Trust me, Yun Mu Yanfeng's hand touched Zhao Yun's face. Looking at Zhao Yun's somewhat haggard appearance, he felt a little heartache. In the future, call me Feng, or Brother Feng. After we get married, call me husband. Mu Yanfeng reminded her. This sentence made Zhao Yun even more embarrassed. Feng. Brother Feng. She couldn't really say it. It was more comfortable to call him young Master Mu, but calling him young Master Mu seemed too distant. Zhao Yun responded softly. The carriage finally arrived at the Crown Prince's residence and stopped in front of the Crown Prince's residence. It was also Zhao Yun's first time seeing it. The entire courtyard was very big. It was probably the largest residence in the entire Yang city, just like the gardens Zhao Yun saw in the 21st century. The heir manor's main door was vermilion red and extremely tall. There was a pair of lions at the door, looking mighty and domineering. From the aura of the main door, one could tell that this wasn't an ordinary residence. Yun, let me help you down, Mu Yanfeng said and considerately helped Zhao Yun down from the carriage. Your house is so big, Zhao Yun sighed. Quickly go in. Okay. The two of them had just entered the door and walked to the hall when they saw Helianchen walking forward. Ah, Feng, I heard that you were back, so I hurried over to look for you. Look at how many days you've been missing. I was so worried. I thought something had happened to you, so I searched everywhere but couldn't find you. And there's no news of you at all. Helianchen's brows were tightly furrowed as he spoke. It was obvious that he was really worried about Mu Yanfeng's situation. Actually, it wasn't just Helianchen. During this period of time, everyone in the heir manor had been searching everywhere for information. After such a long time, they still hadn't found Mu Yanfeng and had already reported it to the capital. They originally thought that the emperor would order a nationwide search, but Mu Yanfeng suddenly returned to the heir manor. Wouldn't it be better if he came back now? Mu Yanfeng replied calmly, without much emotion in his voice. Helianchen was a little angry when he saw Mu Yanfeng's calm expression. He was so worried about him, how could he act as if nothing had happened? Feng, where have you been all this time? Since he was fine, why didn't he send a message back? You caused all of us to be worried about you. It was really crazy. Helianchen couldn't help but complain. Looking at Helianchen's angry appearance, Mu Yanfeng smiled and said, How come I didn't know that you were so concerned about me in the past? Zhao Yun was a little embarrassed when she heard this from the side. Why did she feel that there was a strong sense of camaraderie between these two people? The corner of Helian Chen's mouth twitched and he glared at Mu Yanfeng. Of course I'm concerned about you, you heartless fellow. Haha. Mu Yanfeng laughed and said, the situation was special at that time. I was also seriously injured and was recuperating. I didn't dare to leak my information out, otherwise, something unexpected might happen again. Chapter 373. Zhao Yun couldn't help but laugh at Helian Chen's bashfulness. Why did she feel that Helian Chen was like a girl when she looked at him? It felt like a little wife blaming her husband. If Mu Yanfeng married her, would Helian Chen really not be angry? Would he be jealous of her? She did not want to fight with a man for another man. She hoped that she would not think too much. Mu Yanfeng snorted and sucked in a breath of cold air. Helian Chen and Zhao Yun hurriedly asked, Feng, what's wrong? Are you okay? Mu Yanfeng, are you okay? Mu Yanfeng frowned and looked like he was in pain. My chest hurts. Zhao Yun knew that Mu Yanfeng's chest was still injured. Helian Chen's punch should not have been light. He must have hit Mu Yanfeng's old wound. Are there any herbs here? Let me bandage it for you quickly. The old wound on your chest should have torn. You have to be careful next time, Zhao Yun said. Helian Chen was also a little panicked. If he knew that his punch had injured Mu Yanfeng, he would not have hit him. Yes, yes, yes. Bandage it quickly. Helian Chen looked at Zhao Yun after he finished speaking. He had been paying attention to Mu Yanfeng and did not notice that Zhao Yun had also returned with Mu Yanfeng. Helian Chen was stunned. He pointed at Zhao Yun and said, Why is Miss Yun here too? Zhao Yun nodded at Mu Yanfeng. This time, I was being hunted down. It was all thanks to Yun, who saved me. I have also been recuperating at Yun's house during this period. But I met Miss Yun earlier. Why didn't she say anything? You were at her place. I was the one who told Yun not to say anything. The more people who know, the more risk there is. Helian Chen rolled his eyes at Mu Yanfeng. He increasingly felt that Mu Yanfeng was too heartless. You don't even believe me. That's too hurtful. Helian Chen's angry expression was a little cute. Mu Yanfeng smiled. It's my fault, okay? It's your fault to begin with. Zhao Yun listened to the two people bickering at the side. The gay feeling was getting stronger and stronger. She couldn't listen to it anymore. She could not help but laugh and say, Let's go apply the medicine first. We'll talk about the other things later. No matter how dissatisfied Helian Chen was, it was still more important to treat Mu Yanfeng's injuries. There were specialized physicians in the air manor. They quickly bandaged the wound on Mu Yanfeng's chest. Miss Yun, thank you so much. Thank you for saving Feng and taking care of him for such a long time, Helian Chen said gratefully to Zhao Yun, as if Zhao Yun had saved his wife. It's alright, young Master Helian is too polite. It's not a small matter that you saved Feng. Later, the entire air manor will definitely run over to thank you, especially Madame Mu. Especially old Madame Mu. Helian Chen had just finished speaking when the sound of footsteps came from outside the door. Feng, are you alright? It was the voice of an old woman. Her tone was filled with deep concern. Then, they saw an old woman in her 60s or 70s walk in. Zhao Yun sized up the old woman who walked over. She was dressed in luxurious clothes and wore precious jewelry. One look and she knew that she was a rich madam. Although the old woman was a little old, she still had a temperament. She should have been a great beauty when she was young. This old woman should be the Madame Mu that Helian Chen mentioned. Chapter 374. Grandma. Mu Yanfeng greeted old Madame Mu affectionately when he saw her. Old Madame Mu was probably the most anxious person when he was not around these past few days. Mu Yanfeng noticed that old Madame Mu seemed to have become more haggard. There were a few strands of white hair on her temples. Feng, you're finally back. If you didn't come back, I'm afraid that I wouldn't be able to live on. Old Madame Mu took out a handkerchief and wiped the corners of her eyes. Shitzi Manor had only one heir. If anything happened to Mu Yanfeng, Shitzi Manor would have no descendants. Grandma, I'm back, right? Don't worry. Mu Yanfeng comforted her. Old Madame Mu nodded while sobbing, yes, it's good that you're back. It's good that my Feng is back. Old Madam, you have to thank Miss Yun for Feng's safe return. Helian Chen pointed at Zhao Yun and quickly helped Zhao Yun to claim the credit. Old Madame Mu's attention then fell on Zhao Yun She sized up Zhao Yun and saw Zhao Yun's clothes. She guessed that Zhao Yun was a little girl from the countryside. But regardless of Zhao Yun's identity, she should be grateful since Zhao Yun saved Mu Yanfeng. So she said to Zhao Yun, thank you, miss. I'll ask the servants to give you 500 taels of silver as thanks. Tomorrow, I'll ask the servants to send you back. If you have any other requests, such as food, drinks, clothes and necessities, just let me know. I'll ask the servants to buy them all. Old Madame Mu's way of thanking people was to use money. But she felt that Zhao Yun's clothes were shabby and her family should be poor. She should lack these things the most. Zhao Yun felt uncomfortable when she heard that. What did old Madame Mu mean? She saved Mu Yanfeng because Mu Yanfeng had helped her before, not because of money. A stiff smile appeared at the corner of her mouth. Thank you, old madam, but you don't have to give these things to Yun'er. Although Yun'er saved young Master Mu also helped me a lot before. Old Madame Mu was stunned. She frowned and said, Miss, are you not satisfied with my arrangement? If you have any requests, feel free to let me know. My residence will definitely satisfy you. Zhao Yun'er quickly waved her hand. Old madam, you misunderstood me. I don't need any reward. Old Madame Mu couldn't help but take a few more glances at Zhao Yun. She still did not understand this woman. Why didn't he want the money? Then what did she want? What was she planning? Old Madame Mu didn't believe that Zhao Yun'er didn't want to gain any benefits. She had seen many scheming women. In her opinion, Zhao Yun'er must want to gain more benefits. Miss, although you saved my grandson, you can't go too far. We can give you the money, but don't even think about having any ideas about my grandson. Don't think about being his concubine. Even if we have a maid in the same room, it's not something a country girl can do. Old Madame Mu said to Zhao Yun'er. She told her the guess in her heart. She looked at Zhao Yun'er with disgust. Zhao Yun'er was really angered by old Madame Mu's words this time. What was this old woman talking about? Chapter 375. Old Madam, you're thinking too much. I didn't mean that, Zhao Yun'er said. You didn't mean that? Then why don't you want the money from the Shitzi mansion? Don't tell me you really don't want anything after saving my grandson. Old Madame Mu asked in disbelief. Zhao Yun'er twitched the corner of her mouth. She felt that it was a little ironic. She had not married Mu Yanfeng yet, but old Madame Mu looked down on her and treated her like this. If Mu Yanfeng really married her, old Madame Mu Yanfeng would make a scene. She knew that in this era, there was a big gap between the two people's status, but she did not expect it to be like this. Could Mu Yanfeng really solve it? She could already foresee that Mu Yanfeng would face a lot of difficult problems if he married her. Mu Yanfeng glanced at Zhao Yun'er and hurriedly said, Grandma, how can you say that about Yun'er? She doesn't want anything from me. Isn't it humiliating to give her money directly? When old Madame Mu heard Mu Yanfeng's angry tone, she quickly said, Feng, just by looking at this girl, you can tell that she doesn't come from a good family. Giving her money is for her to improve her life and help her. How did it become humiliating? Grandma, although Yun'er's family background is not good, she is also proud. She will definitely not accept money from others. Money is a good thing, but it is not worth mentioning to some people. It's not right for you to take money directly like this. Look, Yun didn't accept it, right? Since she didn't accept it, why did you say those aggressive words and make her sad? Who would thank someone in this way? Mu Lianfeng stood on Zhao Yun's side and scolded old Madame Mu. Zhao Yun wanted to say that it was not that she did not care about money. She was working hard to do business now just to earn more money and live a good life with Daodu. She refused not because of her pride, but because she did not think that Mu Lianfeng owed her a favor. On the contrary, Mu Lianfeng helped her a little more. This time, if it were not for Mu Lianfeng, she was afraid that she would still be in the dark and dirty prison in fear. After hearing Mu Lianfeng's words, old Madame Mu realized that her words were harsh. But that was what she thought. Her grandson was angry. She could not continue to lose her temper in front of Zhao Yun. Anyway, as long as she was here, Zhao Yun wouldn't have any bad thoughts about her grandson. Okay. It's Grandma's fault. Grandma shouldn't have said that. But she saved you. Tell me, how should I repay her? You can't really do nothing, right? Old Madame Mu asked. She wanted to repay Zhao Yun for saving Mu Lianfeng once and for all. In this way, Zhao Yun would not have the chance to pester Mu Lianfeng. Without waiting for Mu Lianfeng's reply, Zhao Yun said, Old Madam, there's really no need. It's all thanks to young Master Mu's help that I got into trouble this time. We're even now, so there's no need to repay him. Old Madame Mu looked at Mu Lianfeng in confusion. Mu Lianfeng then told her about Zhao Yun's situation. After hearing it, old Madame Mu was relieved. She was wondering why Zhao Yun did not want her money. So this was the reason. If Shitzi Mansion helped her this time, it could be considered that they had repaid Zhao Yun's kindness. Chapter 376. Mu Lianfeng nodded faintly and responded. Zhao Yun could not help but feel bitter when she saw the 180-degree change in old Madame Mu's attitude. It was not that she did not understand old Madame Mu's thoughts. But now that she had confirmed that she did not want to rely on Mu Lianfeng, she was happy. Miss Yun, then you should stay in the Shitzi Mansion for the next 2 days. I will ask the servants to take good care of you. I guarantee that you will eat and drink well. Old Madame Mu said with a smile. Zhao Yun did not want to argue with old Madame Mu about her sudden change in attitude. She was even more lazy to argue with old Madame Mu. So she nodded and said, Thank you, old madam. You're welcome. This is what I should do. Miss Yun saved our Feng. The entire Shitzi Mansion is grateful. If you need any help, you can ask. Thank you, old madam. As soon as Zhao Yun finished speaking, she heard Daodu's voice outside the room. Mother. When Mu Lianfeng went to the prison, he asked the servants to take care of Daodu. At first, when Mu Lianfeng came back with Daodu, Daodu called Mu Lianfeng father. The servants thought that Daodu was Mu Lianfeng's illegitimate son. But they thought that it was impossible. If Mu Lianfeng had a son, then he would be the Shitzi Mansion's little Shitzi. Old Madam would be overjoyed if she knew. She would not let the Shitzi Mansion's child wander outside. Maybe there was another reason. Old Madam Mu also liked children. When she heard Daodu's voice, her eyes lit up. Hearing Daodu's soft voice, she knew that he was a cute little guy. Mother. Daodu saw Zhao Yun when he entered the room and rushed to Zhao Yun. She burrowed into Zhao Yun's arms. After all, he was only a 3-year-old child. He simply couldn't leave his mother. Daodu was also worried that Zhao Yun had been away for such a long time. After returning to Zhao Yun's embrace, Daodu hugged Zhao Yun tightly. He was afraid that if he let go, Zhao Yun would leave again. Zhao Yun caressed Daodu's smooth little face and said softly, Mother is here. Mother, Daodu misses you so much. Mother just left not long ago. why do you want to die already? Zhao Yun's lips curved into a faint smile. At this moment, Zhao Yun'er saw Daodu. Her anger from old Madame Mu immediately dissipated. Old Madame Mu couldn't help but look at Daodu, who was in Zhao Yun'er's arms. Looking at Daodu's height, she knew that he was a few years old. She really didn't expect Zhao Yun'er to be the child's mother. Now, she didn't have to worry about Zhao Yun'er having other motives. It was impossible for a married woman with a child to have anything to do with her grandson. Miss Yun'er's child is already so big, right? Old Madame Mu asked with a smile. She seemed to be in a good mood. Zhao Yun'er responded. Then, she held Daodu's little hand and walked to old Madame Mu. She said to Daodu, "Daodu, greet great-grandmother." Children had to be polite. It was one thing for her to have a problem with old Madame Mu, but she still had to be polite on the surface. Daodu was also very obedient. When he heard Zhao Yun'er's words, he went to old Madame Mu and said sweetly, "Hello, great-grandmother." Chapter 377. The two of them chuckled. Business was pretty good. In just one morning, Mulan had sold nearly 200 copper coins. To Mulan, this was already a large sum of money. Although she couldn't do this every day, she could still make do with a few hundred copper coins a month. She could barely get by. Mulan sighed with emotion. "I'm thinking about when I can save more money and build a few houses. At that time, I'll have a separate house. It'll be more comfortable for my family to live together." At present, he continued to live with old Madame Zhu. When he heard old Madame Zhu's voice, he couldn't help but feel a little annoyed. If he had his own house and lived a little further away, he really wouldn't have anything to do with the Zhu family. Zhao Yun could understand Mulan's feelings. It's always good to have a dream. Life will get better slowly. Mulan sighed. That's true. Building a house costs a lot of money. Now that we're selling these things, it's already good enough that we can live on, let alone building a house. In the end, it was because of money. Zhao Yun'er looked at Mulan's injured fingers. She couldn't continue weaving baskets for a long time. It was tiring and hurt her hands. The most important thing was that she didn't make a lot of money. If she wanted to live a better life, she had to think of another way out. What kind of business could she do in this town? Zhao Yun'er suddenly thought of the snack stall. If she did it alone, she would be busy and strenuous. But if she did it with two people, it wouldn't be so tiring. She could also make more money. Zhao Yun had a feeling that she couldn't do business with Sun Zhongquan for long. She didn't know what Sun Zhongquan and Qin Hailan were doing. If she really couldn't do business with Sun Zhongquan, she could make a plan in advance. During the day, Mulan's baskets were almost sold out. After packing up the remaining things, the two of them went to the market to buy some vegetables. Mulan directly weighed a caddy of pork and brought it back. The children at home hadn't eaten anything good. She had some money on hand, so she had to buy some to nourish the children and satisfy their cravings. On the way back, Zhao Yun'er told Mulan about the snack stall plan. Mulan was very interested. "Yun'er, if possible, I want to do it with you. I'm not afraid of hard work. I'm happy as long as we can make money." Zhao Yun nodded. As long as she could make money, she didn't mind even if it was a little hard. "But I don't have the capital." Zhao Yun'er patted Mulan's shoulder. Yun'er, I feel that you're the one who loses out. How about this? When we share the money, you can get more and give me less. Or I can work for you every month, and you can give me a little salary. Mulan, don't you know our relationship? Don't be so polite with me. We can talk about how to share the money later. Let's go to Yang City to check the situation and see when we can buy the stall. Sure. After lunch, Zhao Yun'er wanted to go up the mountain, but there were a lot of officers and soldiers. These soldiers gathered in front of Zhao Yun'er's house, which attracted many villagers. They were all chattering about what had happened. Chapter 378. Fortunately, he was quick-witted and found an excuse. Otherwise, Matriarch Mu would definitely nag at him about his marriage again. It would be fine if he married Zhao Yun, but the problem was that Matriarch Mu liked Murong Shuang, the cousin he had no feelings for. "Father, does your head really hurt? Do you want Daodu to massage it for you?" Daodu asked considerately. Looking at Daodu's worried little eyes, Mu Yanfeng was touched. His son was filial. "No, father was just teasing your great-grandmother," Mu Yanfeng said with a smile. "Ah. Father. That's not good, right? My mother said that I can't tease people, especially the younger generation. I can't tease the elders." Daodu frowned with a serious expression. He said seriously. Mu Yanfeng felt that he was being lectured by a child. He couldn't help but laugh. "All right, it's father's fault. Father shouldn't tease great-grandmother." "Then does father's head really not hurt?" "It doesn't hurt." "That's good." Daodu smiled at Mu Yanfeng. Helian Chen looked at the interaction between Mu Yanfeng and Daodu. Why did he feel that the two of them were more and more like father and son? Mu Yanfeng called for the servants to bring some food over. He had dinner with Zhao Yun, and Daodu. The next day, Zhao Yun, and Daodu stayed in the Crown Prince's residence. Mu Yanfeng went out to help Zhao Yun, investigate the case. Zhao Yun, couldn't get involved with the case. She believed that Mu Yanfeng could help her settle it. With Mu Yanfeng busy, Zhao Yun, was free and at ease. She stayed in the young prince's mansion because old Madame Mu felt that she was no longer a threat. She treated Zhao Yun, kindly. Especially to Daodu, he doted on him as if he were his own great-grandson. Not only did he bring Daodu to play in front of him, but he also took out all the delicious pastries in the residence for Daodu to eat. Daodu usually stayed in the countryside and had never eaten such delicious food before. It was already rare for her to eat a piece of candy, let alone these expensive pastries. "Great-grandma, it's delicious." Daodu smiled at Matriarch Mu. Looking at Daodu's puffy cheeks, Matriarch Mu smiled and said, "Eat more if you like it. Great-grandma has a lot here." "Great-grandma, you're so good to Daodu. You're even better than Daodu's own great-grandmother. Daodu likes you." Daodu's soft voice, coupled with her charming smile, made old Madame Mu burst with joy. How could there be such a cute child? Looking at Daodu reminded her of her Feng, when he was young. "Didn't your own great-grandmother treat you well?" Matriarch Mu asked with a smile. Daodu paused and shook his head. He looked pitiful. Great-grandma didn't treat Daodu well. She treated mother even worse. "Why? Didn't your father protect your mother?" Daodu didn't have a father when he was young. Great-grandma and the rest scolded mother. They said that mother was shameless to give birth to Daodu. Daodu was still young and couldn't express clearly about Zhao Yun's pregnancy before marriage. However, Matriarch Mu still pieced it together from Daodu's words. Zhao Yun gave birth to Daodu with another man before marriage. She couldn't help but sigh in her heart. Why was Zhao Yun such a woman? She really couldn't tell. Chapter 379. No, she had to keep a distance from Zhao Yun after her grandson finished his business. If they didn't have a chance to get along, Zhao Yun wouldn't be able to seduce him. Mother is so pitiful. When Daodu grows up, you must protect mother well. Daodu said seriously. Seeing that Daodu was so sensible and filial, old Madame Mu liked him even more. She thought that it would be great if Daodu was Mu Yanfeng's biological son. It was a pity that such a child had a mother like Zhao Yun. When it was time for lunch, Zhao Yun came to old Madame Mu to pick up Daodu for lunch. Zhao Yun found that old Madame Mu's attitude towards her seemed to be much colder. She didn't know what she had done to offend old Madame Mu. Zhao Yun was not very enthusiastic when old Madame Mu was indifferent to her. This was how people interacted with each other. At least they treated each other equally. Miss Yun, I like Daodu very much. Why don't you let Daodu live with me in the Shizi's mansion in the future? Anyway, Daodu has recognized Feng as his godfather. You're a young girl and it's not easy for you to get married with a child. Let me take care of Daodu. You can also find yourself a husband. Don't you think so? Old Madame Mu's words almost made Zhao Yun vomit blood. What was this old woman talking about? Why would she give her own son to someone else? The corner of her mouth couldn't help but twitch. If it weren't for old Madame Mu's identity, she would have scolded her. Thank you, old madam, for your love for Daodu and your concern for me. But Yun only wants to live with Daodu in this life. I don't want to get married. Ah, you're a young girl. How can you not get married? You have to find a good family to marry. How about this? Many of the servants in my mansion have grandchildren who are about the same age as you. Do you want me to introduce them to you? With me in charge, it will definitely be better than finding someone else on your own. The more old Madame Mu spoke, the angrier Zhao Yun got. What old Madame Mu meant was that her status was only good enough for the descendants of the servants in the Shizi manor. She really looked down on her. Although old Madame Mu did not scold her, Zhao Yun felt that it was more embarrassing than scolding her like Hu Chunhua. Thinking about it, it was a little ironic. If someone of her status were to marry Mu Yanfeng, old Mistress Mu would think that she was being delusional. She had previously promised Mu Yanfeng that she would marry him. Perhaps this was something that would never happen in this lifetime. She didn't want to be humiliated like this in the future. There's no need for that. Thank you for your concern, old madam. Yun knows what's going on with Yun It's time for dinner. I'll take Daodu out for dinner. Old Madame Mu wanted to continue persuading her, but Zhao Yun did not seem to listen at all. She looked at her with disdain. So she nodded and let Zhao Yun take Daodu out for dinner. After Zhao Yun left, old Madame Mu snorted softly. What kind of person was this? A country bumpkin was a country bumpkin. She had no manners at all. Fortunately, she would not have any dealings with her in the future. Otherwise, she would be furious. For a woman like Zhao Yun, it was good for her to introduce her servants' grandchildren to her. She really did not know how to appreciate favors. After marrying into the Shizi manor, she would be a city dweller. Now it seemed that Zhao Yun only deserved to marry those dirty men in the countryside. Chapter 380. On the way back, Daodu noticed that Zhao Yun seemed a little unhappy. He asked in a soft voice, "Mother, what's wrong?" "It's nothing," Zhao Yun said. "But mother's face is gloomy. I know you're unhappy." Daodu pursed his lips. His little face was full of worry. Seeing that her son was so concerned about her, Zhao Yun felt a little better. She pulled the corners of her mouth into a smile. "No, you saw mother smiling. That's why you're not unhappy." Children were easy to fool. Daodu was also fooled by Zhao Yun for a moment. He saw that Zhao Yun's face had a smile again. Daodu also cracked his little mouth into a smile. Mother, great-grandmother is very good to Daodu. Today, she brought a lot of delicious things for Daodu. That's good. Zhao Yun couldn't deny that although old Madame Mu's attitude towards her was a little bad, she was really good to Daodu. Mother, when will we be able to live in such a big house? Our house is so small, so small. After having a comparison, not to mention Daodu, even Zhao Yun was a little disgusted by her broken thatched house that was about to collapse. Living in a big house was really much more comfortable. Mother, work hard to earn money. In the future, you can also build a big house. Based on old Madame Mu's current attitude towards her, Zhao Yun estimated that the matter between her and Mu Yanfeng would be temporarily put on hold. Therefore, she still had to earn her own living and take care of Daodu to live a good life. After 2 days, the case officially went to court. After Mu Yanfeng's investigation and evidence, the final responsibility fell on Qin Hailan. The bullfrog that had eaten the food was taken from the batch of goods sent by Qin Hailan. The bullfrog sent by Zhao Yun had no problems. The county magistrate acted according to the evidence and finally convicted Qin Hailan. Although Qin Hailan didn't intend to murder people, she couldn't shirk the responsibility of selling a toad and a bullfrog for money. Finally, Qin Hailan was sentenced to 10 years in prison. The Fulin restaurant had no intention of harming anyone, but they couldn't avoid responsibility. Thus, the restaurant was fined 200 taels of silver. Just like that, the case was closed. Zhao Yun'er was finally cleared of the charges and was not implicated. Walking out of the yamen, Zhao Yun'er heaved a sigh of relief. If she was alone, she wouldn't have been able to investigate so many things, let alone clear her name. Perhaps she could only admit that she had been wrong this time. The one who had been imprisoned was her, not Qin Hailan. Zhao Yun'er and Mu Yanfeng walked out of the cell side by side. Miss Yun'er. Sun Zhongquan called out to Zhao Yun'er. He also felt a little guilty about this matter. He knew that he had wronged Zhao Yun'er. If he had confessed Qin Hailan earlier, Zhao Yun'er wouldn't have been implicated. Sun Zhongquan came over. Zhao Yun'er had a cold attitude and didn't want to say anything more to Sun Zhongquan. Miss Yun'er, I'm really sorry. It's all my fault. I apologize to you. At that time, I was blinded by lard and accepted that woman's things. Now, this matter has happened. Zhao Yun'er snorted softly. Shopkeeper, I've warned you before. Don't let anything happen. Now that something really happened, I can only say that your restaurant lost 200 taels of silver. You asked for it. Chapter 381. Sun Zhongquan felt a little regretful when he thought about it. Not only was he fined 200 taels of silver, but the restaurant's reputation would also be affected in the future. What a restaurant was most afraid of was that customers would eat in the restaurant and have problems, let alone die from eating. The restaurant had been closed for 2 days, and Sun Zhongquan already had a premonition that the business would be miserable when he reopened the restaurant after returning. If he wanted the business to improve, he had to find some unique things. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to attract customers at all. Shopkeeper, it's useless to say this now. Things have already happened, and there's no way to reverse it. You'd better take care of yourself in the future. And the contract we made before, you can only buy from me, but you violated the contract, then the cooperation between the two of us ends here, and there is no need to have any contact in the future. Zhao Yun'er said coldly. This kind of person wasn't suitable for her to cooperate with in the long term. This time, there was a problem, but fortunately, it was solved. She couldn't guarantee that there wouldn't be any problems with cooperating with Sun Zhongquan in the future. If something happened, it would be too late to regret it. There were other ways to earn money, so Sun Zhongquan was fine. Miss Yun'er. It's my fault, but we won't stop cooperating. Sun Zhongquan frowned and asked embarrassedly. What's the point of cooperating with a person like Boss Sun who goes back on his word? Zhao Yun'er replied. She didn't want to be entangled with Sun Zhongquan anymore, so she pulled Mu Yanfeng and left. On the way, Mu Yanfeng smiled and asked, Yun'er, are you really not cooperating with that restaurant? Zhao Yun nodded and responded. It's good that you don't cooperate. You have to wake up early every day to deliver goods. It's quite tiring. Mu Yanfeng's tone was filled with heartache. Zhao Yun'er was a woman after all. She couldn't work as hard as a man. Since she had him in the future, he could give Zhao Yun'er someone to rely on. Yun'er, I'll take care of you in the future. I'll take care of you, Mu Yanfeng held Xiao Yun's hand as if he was making a precious promise. Xiao Yun and Mu Yanfeng looked at each other and smiled. A woman should be most touched by a man saying this to her, but Xiao Yun also understood that this kind of words couldn't be trusted. She was a modern woman with her own independent thoughts. She didn't want to rely on a man for the rest of her life. Let's talk about this later. I'm afraid your grandmother won't agree to our marriage. In. Xiao Yun could feel Mu Yanfeng's sincerity. She also understood his helplessness, so she didn't want to give Mu Yanfeng any pressure. If they really couldn't be together, then they wouldn't be together. The two of them returned to the Shizi mansion together. Matriarch Mu was playing with Daodu. Seeing that Daodu's clothes were of poor quality, she specially asked the servants in the mansion to make several sets of clothes for Daodu. Spring, summer, autumn, and winter. There were 2 or 3 sets for each season. The clothes were just made and sent over today. Matriarch Mu helped Daodu change into them. The moment Xiao Yun returned, she saw Daodu in a new set of clothes. He looked just like a little prince. Daodu really looked a lot cuter when he dressed up like this. Chapter 382. Good, good. Xiao Yun praised. Daodu likes it. Mother, the new clothes are so comfortable. That's good. The clothes made of silk were very smooth on the body. How could it be uncomfortable? How could the coarse clothes she bought compare to it? Old Madame Mu stepped forward and asked with a smile, has Miss Yun's matter been settled? Mu Yanfeng nodded, yes, Grandma, it's settled. Is Miss Yun going back soon? Old Madame Mu's tone also revealed a kind of eagerness and impatience. Grandma, Yun hasn't been in our house for long. How can you say that? She's a girl. How can she stay in other people's house for a long time? This will cause misunderstandings. And Miss Yun's family will definitely be worried. Naturally, she has to go back. Old Madame Mu said with a smile on her face. But her eyes were mixed with disgust when she looked at Xiao Yun. To put it bluntly, she didn't like her and wanted to drive her away. This kind of feeling of being driven away was not good. Xiao Yun frowned. Before Mu Yanfeng said anything, Xiao Yun said, Old Madam is right. The matter is settled. I really should go back. Old Madam, thank you for taking care of Daodu and me during this time. Yun, Mu Yanfeng was stunned and looked at Xiao Yun, Xiao Yun, smiled bitterly. Since she was looked down upon so much, what was the point of her staying in the Shizi mansion? Instead of being despised like this, it was better to leave sensibly. Grandma, Feng, Miss Yun, said that she wants to go back. You don't have to keep her. Shuang, will come tomorrow. You should prepare well. Don't hide from Shuang, like before. Give birth to a lovely great-grandson like Daodu with Shuang, as soon as possible. Old Madame Mu's tone was a bit strict. Mu Yanfeng wanted to refute, but when he saw Old Madame Mu's sullen face, he was afraid that Old Madame Mu would not only not agree to be with Xiao Yun, at this time, but also be more vigilant against Xiao Yun, in the future. Young Master Mu, listen to Old Madam. I'll go back and pack first. I'll go back later. Xiao Yun said in a low voice. The corner of Old Madame Mu's mouth raised into a smile. She felt that Xiao Yun was quite sensible. Otherwise, she would have kicked Xiao Yun out. Miss Yun, I'll send you back in a carriage. Why don't you leave Daodu with me for a few days? I'll send Daodu back later. Old Madame Mu was happy that Xiao Yun left, but she was a little reluctant to part with Daodu. Xiao Yun's mouth twitched. She didn't know where Old Madame Mu got the cheek to say such words. She wanted her to leave, but also wanted Daodu to stay. How could such a good thing happen? I'm very happy that Old Madam likes Daodu, but I only have one child. I can't leave Daodu, so I still have to take Dowda back. Zhao Yun replied faintly. Old Madame Mu looked at Dowda's little face reluctantly. All right then. After Zhao Yun walked away, old Madame Mu snorted softly. A woman suffering with a child. I don't know what she's thinking. Dowda can live a good life with us, but she doesn't let him. She doesn't know how to appreciate favors. Chapter 383. You're speaking up for her. Humph. Anyway, I don't think it's necessary for a woman to make her child suffer. Dowda can have a good life with her, but she doesn't let him. Feng, I don't want to scold you, but you should stay away from this kind of woman. Don't be bewitched by this kind of vixen. Of course, old Madame Mu didn't say the last sentence. Mu Lianfeng saw that old Madame Mu couldn't be persuaded and sighed slightly. Grandma, I'll send Yun, and Dowda back today. Feng, what are you doing? You're still injured. You should rest at home. There are many servants in the Shitzi mansion. Grandma, I want to send them back personally. Yun has been taking care of me these days. You don't want her to stay in the Shitzi mansion for a while. You should let me send her back. Mu Lianfeng said. He was afraid that old Madame Mu wouldn't agree and would nag again, so he left in a hurry. Alas, Feng, Old Madame Mu sighed again and again. She hoped that her Feng, just sent Zhao Yun, back and didn't mean anything else. Zhao Yun, packed her things. Actually, she didn't have anything. She mainly packed for Dowdu. Old Madame Mu made a big bag of clothes for Dowdu. There were also some cakes and candies for Dowdu. In less than half an hour, Zhao Yun, finished packing. The Shitzi mansion had also prepared the carriage. As soon as she came out of the door, she saw a man in black come forward. He looked a little hurried. Master. The man in black came forward and bowed to Mu Lianfeng respectfully. Zhao Yun had seen this man before. It was Mo Yan. Why are you in such a hurry? What's the matter? Mu Lianfeng asked. Master, there's a letter from the capital. Mo Yan said and took out a letter from his sleeve. He handed it to Mu Lianfeng. Mu Lianfeng opened it and read. Got it. Go and prepare. We'll go to the capital together tomorrow. Today, I will send Miss Yun'er home first. Mu Lianfeng instructed. Yes, master, the man in black responded, then glanced at Zhao Yun, and Dowdu. When he saw Dowdu's small face, he was slightly shocked. This child was really similar to his master. Then, he looked at Zhao Yun'er, and made some guesses. In fact, the last time he saw Zhao Yun'er, he felt a sense of familiarity. It was as if he had seen her somewhere before, but he couldn't remember where. When she saw Dowdu, she couldn't help but ask, is Miss Yun, from the Black Mountain village? Mu Lianfeng saw Mo Yan gossiping about Zhao Yun'er's residence. Do you think he cares too much about his master? Yes. Zhao Yun'er nodded at Mo Yan with a smile. Mo Yan frowned slightly. Was it really the person he was thinking about? All right, you can go now. Why are you gossiping about this as a man? Mu Lianfeng urged with some disdain. Mo Yan found it inappropriate to keep asking, so she left. Yun'er, I'll help you up. Mu Lianfeng carried Dowdu onto the carriage first before helping Zhao Yun'er up in a considerate manner. The carriage slowly made its way to the Black Mountain village. On the way, Mu Lianfeng was rather reluctant to leave. Originally, he wanted to stay for a while longer after sending Zhao Yun'er back. Even if Madame Mu urged him, he wouldn't return to his estate. Chapter 384. Father, will you come back after sending Dowdu and mother home? Asked Dowdu. Yeah, I'm going to the capital, and I won't be back for a while. I'll visit you and your mother when I'm back. All right. Father, if you're back, please come to visit Dowdu and mother as soon as possible. Yes, yes, of course. Mu Yanfeng rubbed Daodu's head lovingly. Zhao Yun was interested in the capital that Mu Yanfeng mentioned. The capital wasn't far from Yang City, and it was only 100 miles away. In the 21st century, it would take a few hours to get there by car, but in ancient times, it would take a whole day to get there by horse carriage. Zhao Yun was planning in her heart that if she had the chance, she would go to the capital in the future. The world was very big, and she had to go out and see more of it. In addition, the capital was a big place where she could make more money. The horse carriage was much faster than the donkey, and they arrived at the village in a short while. When Zhao Yun arrived at the door of her house, she found it was a mess. Many of the vegetables that she had spent a lot of effort to grow were pulled out by someone. She knew that someone had visited her house. Seeing this, she was a little angry. She had only been away for a few days, and someone in the village had already done something immoral. Zhao Yun ran to the kitchen to check, and found that the rice and flour in the kitchen were all gone. It seemed that someone had taken advantage of her absence to rob her house. Damn it! Zhao Yun bit her lower lip and suppressed her anger. She had an impulse to beat someone up. If she knew who it was, she would skin that person alive. Mu Yanfeng's horse carriage arrived at the village, and it attracted the attention of the villagers. Seeing that Zhao Yun was back, they all went up to see what was going on. They had doubted Mu Yanfeng's identity before, but when they saw Mu Yanfeng's horse carriage and Mu Yanfeng's new clothes, they believed it at once. Judging from his aura, he must be someone important. There was nothing suspicious about him being the heir. Wow, it seems that Yun's husband is really the heir. That's right, then it's not simple. Little Yun is going to have a meteoric rise. Exactly. If old Zhao's family knew that Yun was pregnant with the heir's child, they wouldn't drive Yun away. They would probably take good care of Yun at home. Ha, man proposes but God disposes. Old Zhao family deserves it. No matter how well Yun is doing now, it has nothing to do with them. Zhao Yun looked inside and out of the house. Except for the broken things in her house that were not taken away, the food and the like were all taken away, including her little donkey. She didn't think about it before she left, but now she felt that she had suffered a great loss. When Lu Fugue heard that Zhao Yun had returned to the village, he hurriedly rushed to Zhao Yun's house. Yun, you're back. It's great that you're back. Lu Fugue said with a smile. Yeah, Zhao Yun answered indifferently. She didn't have much enthusiasm for Lu Fugue. Her house was ruined, and she thought that Lu Fugue didn't care about it. Chapter 385. Zhao Yun suspected that the other people in the village had done something sneaky, so someone stood up and said, Yun girl, the rest of us didn't do anything. It was all done by old Zhao's family. That's right, Yun girl, don't falsely accuse others. It was all done by old Zhao's family. If you want to find someone, you have to find old Zhao's family. It has nothing to do with us. Zhao Yun was furious when she heard that it was old Zhao's family. Those shameless people were really amazing. They knew how to make trouble when she wasn't at home. Thinking about it, her things and Xiao Mao were all at old Zhao's house. Seeing Zhao Yun's sullen face, Lu Fugue said, Yun girl, don't be too angry. Your things were taken away by your grandparents. That's because you weren't at home. They were afraid of thieves, so they let your grandparents take care of it first. You can go to old Zhao's house later and get them back. After Lu Fugue finished speaking, Zhao Yun was silent for a moment. If Lu Fugue wasn't lying, then she didn't have to pick a fight with old Zhao's family. She only hoped that old Zhao's family could be tactful and return her things to her. They were really just keeping them safe. Got it, Uncle Li Zheng. I'll go get them now. Then go. It's fine as long as you're fine. Everyone has been worried about you these days. Okay. Zhao Yuner responded. Zhao Yuner felt that Lu Fugue's words about everyone being worried about her were very ironic. These people in the village probably wanted to see her make a fool of herself. As for old Zhao's family, no one except her parents was worried about her. More and more people came to watch. A woman said loudly, Zhao Yuner actually came back. Wasn't she arrested for harming others? Why didn't the government deal with this kind of person and release him back? The person who spoke was Chen Erwa's mother, Feng Yu. She had quarreled with Zhao Yuner before, so she still held some grudges against Zhao Yuner. Originally, he thought that Zhao Yuner had been taken away by the government officials. He felt very satisfied. Now that he saw that Zhao Yuner had returned safely, his heart was very unhappy. I heard that the person was not killed by Yuner, but by Qin Hailan. Didn't the government take Qin Hailan away yesterday? Does taking Qin Hailan prove that Zhao Yuner is innocent? Maybe it was Zhao Yun who did it. Now that she had Shizi's support, no one would dare to touch her. In my opinion, Miss Qin is just a scapegoat. Shizi asked the government officials to arrange for her to be Zhao Yuner's scapegoat. Feng Yu, what you said makes sense. Zhao Yuner has Shizi's support, so it is very easy for her to get Zhao Yuner out of prison. Then we should stay away from the person who has done such a bad thing, in case she will do it again next time. You're right. What a sin. If it is really Zhao Yuner who has done those things, won't it be a disaster if she stays in our village? Seeing that the villagers' emotions were stirred up by her, Feng Yu couldn't help but feel a little proud. The more she talked, the more excited she became. Even if Zhao Yuner came back this time, she should make the villagers dislike her. Chapter 386. The truth wasn't like that. Why should she be slandered like that? If this kind of thing was spread out, other people would follow suit. She was afraid that she wouldn't be able to stay in this village any longer. After going through so many things, Zhao Yuner finally figured it out. People in ancient times were more difficult to educate than people in modern times. Zhao Yun had been a policewoman for many years in the 21st century. She was used to peace. Generally, she wouldn't use force if she could solve things peacefully. Now it seemed that she was wrong. The more the people here gave in to her, the more arrogant they would be. They didn't know when to stop, and would bully her even more in the future. Zhao Yuner walked to Feng Yu with a sullen face. She coldly stared at the woman who was stirring up trouble and making trouble. Being stared at by Zhao Yuner, Feng Yu's heart suddenly panicked. Zhao Yuner, what do you want to do? Why are you staring at me like that? Do you want to scare me to death? You look like a ghost. The corner of Zhao Yuner's mouth evoked a sneer. What? I can't look at the person. I think you're guilty. Is that why you're acting like this? Do you have a guilty conscience? Who's guilty? Zhao Yuner, don't talk nonsense. I don't know what you're talking about. Feng Yu said, but didn't dare to look into Zhao Yuner's eyes. Zhao Yuner sneered. Your voice was so loud just now. Do you think I didn't hear it? Feng Yu was silent for a while. She thought that there was nothing wrong with what she said. Why was Zhao Yuner so afraid of Zhao Yuner? In front of so many people in the village, Zhao Yuner wouldn't dare to do anything to her. Even if Zhao Yuner really did something to her, Zhao Yuner wouldn't be able to live a good life in the village in the future in front of so many people. Her reputation as an unreasonable shrew would be spread out. No one would have any contact with Zhao Yuner in the future. Thinking of this, Feng Yu felt that his confidence had suddenly risen. She puffed out her chest and said to Zhao Yuner aggressively, so what if you heard what I said? What I said is not unreasonable. If you don't believe me, you can ask our fellow villagers if I'm right. Zhao Yuner looked at Feng Yu a few more times. This woman didn't seem to be completely brainless. At least she knew how to stir up the atmosphere. Although none of the other villagers dared to stand out and criticize Zhao Yun'er like Feng Yu, they still whispered in agreement and agreed with Feng Yu's words. With someone speaking up for him, Feng Yu felt more confident. He pointed at Zhao Yun'er and said, "Zhao Yun'er, you harmed big sister Qin. It's good enough that you're allowed to return to the village. In my opinion, a vicious woman like you should be chased out of the village. How dare you be so arrogant now? Lord Li Zheng, you have to do something about it, right?" Lu Fugue frowned and was about to say something to help Zhao Yun'er, but Zhao Yun'er said, "Feng Yu, do you mean that His Highness colluded with the government to let Qin Hailan take the blame and then let me, the real murderer, out? Well, isn't that the case? Good, very good." The corners of Zhao Yun'er's mouth suddenly evoked a rather profound smile. What? Feng Yu panicked when she saw Zhao Yun'er's reaction. "His Highness, now someone is accusing you of colluding with the government and playing favoritism. How should you deal with it?" Zhao Yun'er suddenly turned to Mu Yanfeng and asked. Chapter 387. The so-called exile of 3,000 miles meant that she would be sent to the extremely cold places at the border and be recorded as a slave. Her life there would definitely be more painful than being in prison. In prison, she would be able to get out after a few years or more, just like Qin Hailan. However, if she was exiled for 3,000 miles and was recorded as a slave, there would be no hope for her ever again. She might even die on the road before reaching the border. Feng Yu was so frightened by Mu Yanfeng's words that she trembled. I didn't frame you. Wasn't what I said the truth?" The corners of Mu Yanfeng's mouth twitched. "Of course, it's up to the authorities to decide whether or not I'm being framed. However, sister-in-law, what you said just now is challenging the authority of the authorities and implying that they're being unfair." After being frightened by Mu Yanfeng, Feng Yu knelt on the ground and began to plead, "Your Highness, please let me off. It's all this commoner's fault. I won't dare to speak carelessly in the future." Feng Yu was not a fool. She would really be arrested and sent to the authorities just like that. Regardless of whether Mu Yanfeng colluded with the authorities or not, the authorities would definitely insist on their innocence. How could they allow a commoner like her to speak carelessly? They would only convict her in the end. Mu Yanfeng snorted softly. "Everyone has to be responsible for their own words and actions. Since you know that you have said something wrong, then slap yourself a few times and I will consider not pursuing the matter." Okay, Your Highness." As Feng Yu spoke, she began to slap herself. After lightly scratching herself a few times, she asked embarrassedly, "Your Highness, please take a look. Is this enough? I asked you to slap yourself, but you're like scratching an itch. Since you're so unwilling, then I'll send you to the authorities." Mu Yanfeng said coldly. Feng Yu saw that Mu Yanfeng was not easy to fool. She gritted her teeth and could only be more harsh on herself. However, if she hit too hard, it would really hurt. Slap, Feng Yu slapped herself hard. "I didn't hear it." Slap, Feng Yu used more strength. "I still didn't hear it." Slap. This time, Feng Yu used all his strength. Only then was Mu Yanfeng satisfied. Feng Yu's face was swollen from the slap. After a few slaps, Feng Yu's face turned into a pig's. Mu Yanfeng then let Feng Yu go. "Remember to be careful with your words and actions in the future. Don't say anything that you shouldn't say. Otherwise, the consequences will be more serious than this." Mu Yanfeng warned. Yes. Feng Yu was so scared that he quickly responded. However, she wasn't willing to suffer for nothing today. She would definitely get it back in the future. Lu Fugue also stood up and said, "Everyone has seen that Feng Yu has been taught a lesson today. It would be best for everyone not to discuss Yun'er's matter and start any rumors. Otherwise, they would be framing the crown prince and framing the Qingming of the government. When the time comes, don't blame me for not warning you if you receive any punishment." As Li Zheng, Lu Fugue had accumulated some aura and authority over the years. The villagers were so scared that they didn't dare to talk about it anymore. If they were really arrested by the government, they would suffer a great loss. Therefore, one by one, they agreed, Li Zheng is right. We definitely won't speak carelessly. After dealing with Feng Yu's matter, Zhao Yuner brought Dao Du and Mu Yanfeng to old Zhao's house. Many people followed along to join in the fun. On the way, Zhao Yuner smiled and said to Mu Yanfeng, "You really don't show mercy when you tease people." Mu Yanfeng smiled slightly. Chapter 388. In the past, he had even killed many people, not to mention teasing people like this. Yuner, if anything happens in the future, I'll be there. Naturally, I won't let anyone bully you. When I come back from the capital, I'll marry you. I know Grandma may not agree. But this time, I'm going to do something for the Emperor. When the time comes, the Emperor will definitely give me some rewards. When the time comes, I'll ask the Emperor for you. With the Emperor's permission, even if Grandma objects, it's useless. Zhao Yuner didn't know how to respond to Mu Yanfeng. She still felt that Mu Yanfeng saw things too simply. Even if the Emperor granted her a marriage and she married into the Shitzi manor, would old Madame Mu treat her well? She probably didn't like her no matter how she looked at her. Mu Yanfeng only had one relative. His parents had passed away early. So, he wouldn't do anything that would go against old Madame Mu and make her sad. Zhao Yuner didn't want to force Mu Yanfeng. She thought that if the two of them were really together, they wouldn't have to go to the Shitzi manor. She would build a big courtyard in the countryside. Mu Yanfeng could come and live there. As for status, this thing was too superficial. What she pursued was the two of them being together, not those dispensable things of formality. If Mu Yanfeng came to live with her, she naturally wouldn't have to deal with old Madame Mu. Mu Yanfeng, if old Madame still doesn't agree, what should we do? Mu Yanfeng was silent for a moment. Yuner, if Grandma still doesn't agree, worst comes to worst, I'll move out and live with you. From then on, I won't go back to the Shitzi manor. We'll be together as a family. Anyway, except for you, I, Mu Yanfeng, will never marry another woman in this life. Zhao Yuner didn't expect Mu Yanfeng's answer to be the same as what she thought. It was already very rare for a man, especially a man of such status, to do this for her. Okay, then I'll wait for you. Zhao Yuner smiled. If you really leave the Shitzi manor and come to my place, I'll take care of you. Zhao Yuner was both joking and serious. If Mu Yanfeng really left the Crown Prince's mansion, he would not be able to enjoy the same treatment as the Crown Prince's mansion. Even his monthly allowance would be confiscated. At that time, Mu Yanfeng might have to consider the problem of survival. Zhao Yuner thought about it. Her goal now was to raise a son and a man. Mu Yanfeng was amused by Zhao Yuner. Yuner, how can a woman support a man? Don't worry, even if I leave the Crown Prince's residence, I'll make sure you and Dao Du live a good life. Zhao Yuner felt a little sweet in her heart. They soon arrived at old Zhao's house. It was almost time for lunch. Old Zhao's men came back from the field and were resting in the yard. As for the woman, she was busy preparing lunch. Third sister-in-law, what are you doing in the courtyard? The pot is already hot. Why aren't you bringing the dishes in? You haven't finished washing them for half a day. Li Chuiying yelled at Liang Jinxiao. Coming, coming. Liang Jinxiao responded. He carried the dishes in the basin and went to the kitchen. Hu Chunhua was also in the kitchen. She started scolding, have you been bewitched? You're so absent-minded when doing such a small thing. If you do this again, I'll skin you alive. Liang Jinxiao lowered his head and sighed. Mother, I'm just worried about Yuner. Sigh. Chapter 389. Li Chuiying hurriedly chimed in, that's right, mother. That B asterisk tch will be punished by the heavens. I think Xiao Yun probably won't be able to come back. Look at old Fifth, he went to Yang City and hasn't brought back any news yet. Hu Chunhua thought about it and agreed. However, her heart ached for the money her family had spent. After Xiao Yun was taken away, Zhao Wensheng heard the news and rushed back from town. He hurriedly went to Yang City to inquire about the news. Someone in town had a relative who worked in the government, so he wanted to use his connections to get Xiao Yun out. However, using connections like this would definitely cost money, so old Zhao's family took out 20 taels of silver. 20 taels of silver was not a small amount. The family's money was in Hu Chunhua's hands, and Hu Chunhua was unwilling to take it. In the end, Zhao Baoshan had no choice but to use his own savings. Without thinking, Hu Chunhua thought that Zhao Baoshan had hidden his private savings. She started to cry, make a fuss, and threatened to hang herself. She was unwilling to spend so much money on such a little b asterisk tch. In the end, she was scolded back by Zhao Baoshan, and only then did she shut up. Hu Chunhua had been brooding. She didn't know how long old Zhao's family would spend with 20 taels of silver. Now, her plan was ruined. How could she feel comfortable spending it on a useless person? After hearing Hu Chunhua and Li Chuiying's words, Liang Jinxiao frowned and became even more anxious. He was worried that Xiao Yun really wouldn't be able to come back. Just as he was worrying, a voice suddenly sounded from outside. Yun is here. Yun is alright. Second sister, you're back. Seeing that Xiao Yun was back, old Zhao's family had different reactions. Zhao Yun made her feel a little disappointed. Liang Jinxiao hurriedly ran out of the house. Yun, you're finally back. Mother was worried sick. Liang Jinxiao held Xiao Yun's hand and wiped the tears from the corners of his eyes emotionally. A few days after Xiao Yun left, Liang Jinxiao looked much more haggard. He probably couldn't sleep because he was worried about her these past few days. Mother, don't worry. Aren't I back now? It's good that you're back, it's good that you're back. Liang Jinxiao heaved a sigh of relief. His heart, which had been hanging in the air, was finally at ease. When Liang Jinxiao saw Mu Yanfeng standing behind Xiao Yun, he asked, Yun, did Shitzi help you come back safely this time? Yes. Xiao Yun nodded. Upon hearing this, Liang Jinxiao hurriedly knelt in front of Mu Yanfeng and thanked Mu Yanfeng. Shitzi, it's all thanks to you this time. I can't thank you enough. Mu Yanfeng hurriedly helped Liang Jinxiao up from the ground. Auntie, you're too kind. Yun was innocent in the first place. It was just a small matter. Then I still have to thank Shitzi. Alright, Mother, you don't have to be so polite with him. Zhao Yun said with a smile. Hu Chunhua also came out of the house. When she saw Mu Yanfeng, she trembled and was a little scared. This time, Mu Yanfeng was dressed luxuriously. At a glance, she could tell that he was a person of status. She also knew that Mu Yanfeng was Shitzi. Just as Hu Chunhua was about to hide, she suddenly heard a shout. Stop right there. It was Xiao Yun's voice. Hu Chunhua stopped in her tracks and turned around stiffly. You wretched girl, why are you so fierce? Are you trying to scare me to death? Grandmother, what are you afraid of? Is it because you have a guilty conscience that you were frightened by my shout? Chapter 390. Zhao Yun hooked her finger at Hu Chunhua and said, Grandma, shouldn't you return my things to me? What things? Of course, the things that you took from my house. Zhao Yun's voice became colder. Old Zhao's family didn't touch those things after they brought them back. Hu Chunhua was afraid of Mu Yanfeng, so she asked Li Chuiying to take out those things. He placed them in front of Zhao Yun, and said to Zhao Yun, the things are all here. We didn't take advantage of you. You can count them yourself. Zhao Yun took a look and saw that the things were indeed not missing. Then she said, "These are all correct. Where's my Xiao Mao?" Xiao Mao? What Xiao Mao? Of course it's the donkey. Grandma, don't play dumb. Don't tell me that you didn't bring my Xiao Mao back. Io, you wretched girl. Aren't you wronging me again? Your Xiao Mao ran away by itself. I didn't get it back. Zhao Yun frowned. Xiao Mao ran away by itself. It was tied up in the wooden shed. How could it run away by itself? Mu Lianfeng saw that he couldn't hide what old Zhao's family did, so he told Zhao Yun what happened that day. He didn't want to tell Zhao Yun because he didn't want Zhao Yun to worry. But now he had to tell her. Zhao Yun was furious when she heard it. She didn't expect that old Zhao's family would do such a shameless thing on the day she left. Zhao Yun coldly glanced at Hu Chunhua and scolded, "How could they do this kind of robbery? How interesting. Uncle Li Zheng, I don't know if you're going to take care of this matter. If you don't, I'll go to the authorities and report it. A two-tailed donkey and these things will be locked up for at least a year, right?" When Hu Chunhua heard this, her legs trembled. He looked at the other members of old Zhao's family for help. Zhao Ping stood up again and began to defend Hu Chunhua. "Zhao Yun when did Grandma snatch your things? Aren't all your things here? It's not like you're missing anything. As for your donkey, it grew legs and ran away. Who can you blame?" Hu Chunhua also hurriedly replied, "Yeah, Ping is right. Who stole your things? Don't slander others." Lu Fugue stood up and sighed. He began to mediate, "Yun'er, your family. Let's just forget about this. Your grandmother and the others did go a little overboard that day, but these things are still here. I'll return them to you now. As for your family's donkey, you did run away by yourself. Even if you report it to the authorities, they might not necessarily convict you." So Lu Fugue meant that she should just let it go and not pursue this matter. She was letting old Zhao's family take advantage of this for nothing. Zhao Yun couldn't take this lying down. Just as she was thinking about how to vent her anger on old Zhao's family, Mu Lianfeng said indifferently, "Since that's the case, we won't pursue this matter." Before this heir apparent left last time, I said that when this heir apparent returned, I would ask for Grandma Zhao's punishment. A faint smile hung on Mu Lianfeng's lips. His sharp gaze landed on Hu Chunhua. Hu Chunhua immediately realized what was going on. She was so frightened that she quickly knelt in front of Mu Lianfeng. "Heir apparent, please let me go. I was wrong." Zhao Yun had never seen Hu Chunhua so frightened. Chapter 391. One had to know that people like Hu Chunhua weren't afraid of being beaten. "Let you off? How can that be? Don't tell me I have to take back what I've said. Where will my dignity be in the future?" The people who came to old Zhao's house to watch all knew that Hu Chunhua wanted to eat feces last time. This time, Mu Lianfeng meant that he was going to let Hu Chunhua eat feces again. Everyone held back their laughter and waited to watch the show. "Lord Heir, my wife is not sensible. Can you let her off?" Zhao Baoshan went forward to plead. It was not that he wanted to protect Hu Chunhua, but old Zhao's family could not afford to lose face like this. They could not let old Zhao's family be mocked for the rest of their lives because of this incident. Let her off. Considering what she did, this punishment is already considered light. You were the ones who suggested this punishment in the first place, Mu Lianfeng said calmly. Zhao Baoshan looked at Zhao Xinhui with disappointment. If it were not for this daughter of his, such an embarrassing incident would not have happened. Zhao Xinhui pursed her lips and turned her head to the side, not daring to look into Zhao Baoshan's eyes. This is all because my daughter is not sensible. She spoke carelessly. Lord Heir, why don't you change the punishment? You've changed the punishment so many times. What you said doesn't count. Then, Can I change my words and follow the original punishment method? Mu Yanfeng was talking about sewing Hu Chunhua's mouth with a needle. Hu Chunhua was so frightened that she quickly said, Lord Heir, you should let me eat feces. Don't sew my mouth. Zhao Baoshan glared at Hu Chunhua again. This old woman was really too useless. Zhao Yun choked on Hu Chunhua's words. She looked at Mu Yanfeng with a stunned expression. Eat feces? Did she hear wrongly? Let Hu Chunhua eat shit. Mu Yanfeng saw Zhao Yun'er looking at him and smiled gently at Zhao Yun'er. What's wrong? Yun'er. Mu Yanfeng, I'm more curious about what happened after I left that day. Why did Mu Yanfeng punish Hu Chunhua to eat shit? Could it be that Mu Yanfeng had such a strong taste? She couldn't tell. Mu Yanfeng's smile widened. Seeing Zhao Yun'er's curious expression and the way she was sizing him up, he was afraid that Zhao Yun would misunderstand him, so he told her what happened that day. After Zhao Yun heard this, she couldn't help but burst out laughing. This Zhao Xinhui was definitely the most deceitful person she had ever met. He could even come up with such a rotten idea. Hu Chunhua had doted on her daughter like a treasure for so many years, but now it seemed that all her love was in vain. Zhao Xinhui didn't care at all. If you eat shit, then don't stay in our old Zhao's house anymore. Old Zhao's family doesn't have such an embarrassing person. Zhao Baoshan said harshly again. Today, he really made up his mind. If Hu Chunhua did such an embarrassing thing, he would divorce her. He would chase Hu Chunhua back to her parents' house. This way, old Zhao's family wouldn't be laughed at so badly. You old man, then what do you think we should do? Let the air sew my mouth. Then I'll probably die of pain. In any case, I've served you for most of my life. Why are you so cruel to me? Hu Chunhua sat on the ground and wailed like a ghost. Although Zhao Yun wanted to see Hu Chunhua suffer and punish this old woman, the way she ate shit was too strong. Isn't it all your fault? Looking for trouble when you have nothing to do, you just want to pick on Yun-er. Otherwise, how could you offend the heir? You asked for it. Zhao Baoshan coldly snorted. Chapter 392. Hu Chunhua pursed her lips at Zhao Baoshan's scolding. If she had known that Zhao Yun was backed by the heir, she wouldn't have dared to cause trouble even if she was beaten to death. Old man, what's the point of saying this now? Hu Chunhua retorted. If you want to get away, why don't you go and beg Yun-er? Who knows, maybe the heir will let you off if she forgives you. After Zhao Baoshan finished speaking, Hu Chunhua looked at Zhao Yun and then at Mu Yanfeng. Mu Yanfeng smiled and said, That's right. If Yun forgives you, I can consider letting you off. Mu Yanfeng still wanted to let Zhao Yun have the initiative in this matter. Zhao Yun's idea of torturing people was definitely better than his. Hu Chunhua looked at Zhao Yun and said, Yun, you're also from our hometown. You can't just watch your grandmother be humiliated like this, right? People will laugh at our family. In the future, your sister and 2 younger brothers' marriages will also be affected. Hu Chunhua started to play the emotional card. She knew that it was useless to force Zhao Yun to do this. Hu Chunhua was considered smart. When she said this, Zhao Yun carefully considered it. She didn't care about Zhao Ping Whether she got married or not had nothing to do with her. However, she had 2 younger brothers. Zhao Yun didn't want old Zhao's reputation to affect them. This time, she only wanted to teach Hu Chunhua a lesson for a moment of pleasure. After she taught her a lesson, old Zhao's scandal would spread quickly. Zhao Yun thought about it. Why not use this opportunity to do something else? Grandma, I've already separated from the family. Your old Zhao's matters have nothing to do with me. Other people's matters have nothing to do with me either. I don't need to worry about this. You heartless person. How can you be so cruel to your grandmother and family? Hu Chunhua started to wail and howl again. Zhao Baoshan frowned. Looking at Zhao Yun, he knew that she wasn't going to let Hu Chunhua off. He sighed slightly and signaled Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao with his eyes. Zhao Wenhua didn't want to persuade Zhao Yun, but he was afraid that Zhao Baoshan and Hu Chunhua would cause trouble for him again. Thus, he said, Yun, forget it. Your grandmother knows her mistake. She definitely won't cause trouble at your place again. Zhao Yun, glanced at Zhao Wenhua. Why was her father so cowardly? He was speaking up for old Zhao's family again. She won't do it again. I don't know how many times grandma has caused trouble, but she never changes. Who knows if she'll do it again next time? Yun, can you promise me that you won't do it again in front of everyone in the village? Zhao Baoshan asked embarrassedly. Zhao Yun, pretended to be conflicted. Actually, it's not impossible, but you have to promise me one more thing. Yun, tell us. If we can do it, we'll definitely agree, Zhao Baoshan agreed. Hu Chunhua also quickly agreed, that's right. As long as Master Heir Presumptive lets me off, Yun, you can ask for anything. We'll definitely do it if we can. Just don't let her eat sh*t in front of so many people, Zhao Yun, smirked. You can definitely do it. My request is to split up the family. My parents and 3 branches will be separated from old Zhao's family. You have to give them everything that belongs to the family. As for the other branches, it's up to you whether you want to split them or not. Chapter 393. They never thought that Zhao Yun would suggest this. Let the 3rd branch separate. Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao were even more stunned. It wasn't that the 3rd branch hadn't thought of separating, but they didn't dare to mention it to Hu Chunhua and Zhao Baoshan in the past. Now, Zhao Yun helped them bring it up. If they could separate this time, the 3rd branch was naturally willing, so they didn't say anything. First, they would listen to how Zhao Baoshan, Hu Chunhua, and the rest of old Zhao's family would respond. Zhao Yun had always hoped that her parents could separate from old Zhao's family, but unfortunately, she didn't have the chance. With her parents' temperaments, they didn't dare to make a fuss, and separating wasn't an easy matter. This time, if they could change the troublesome Hu Chunhua into the 3rd branch, it would be worth it. Seeing that old Zhao's family didn't say anything, Zhao Yun, raised her eyebrows. Grandfather, grandmother, you don't agree, right? Then forget it, let's just stick to the previous punishment. Zhao Baoshan hurriedly waved his hand, frowned, and said in a deep voice, Yun, girl, are you really going to let your parents separate? It won't be good for them to separate. Tianfu still needs to go to school. If they separate, old Zhao's family won't provide for him. Grandfather, you don't have to worry about this. If the 3rd branch separates, old Zhao's family won't pay for Tianfu's school fees. It was only a few taels of silver a year. Zhao Yun, believed that she could earn enough to provide for Zhao Tianfu. After hearing Zhao Yun's words, the rest of old Zhao's family had no reason to object. If the 3rd branch separates, there would still be a sum of money left over from Zhao Tianfu's school fees. Old man, let's separate. Let the 3rd branch move out. Anyway, we have a lot of people. It's fine even without the 3rd branch. Hu Chunhua hurriedly urged. She was afraid that if Zhao Baoshan did not agree, Mu Yanfeng would make her eat sh*t, that's right, father. Let the 3rd branch move out. Use the money from Tianfu province for my Tianyu studies. Li Chuiying hurriedly said. Old Zhao's family had a good plan. No matter how good Zhao Yun's life was, she wouldn't help the 3rd branch, so old Zhao's family couldn't benefit from it. On the other hand, Zhao Tianlong would definitely be able to pass the high scholar examination after this trip to the capital city. Old Zhao's family would also be able to achieve meteoric success. The 3rd branch could only wait to regret it. Once they moved out, old Zhao's family's good days would no longer have anything to do with the 3rd branch. Zhao Baoshan was unwilling to move out. They were a good family with two elders still around. There was no reason to move out. What he was most afraid of was that if the third branch moved out, the other branches of the first and second branch would also make a fuss about moving out. However, if they didn't move out and didn't agree to Zhao Yun's request, would they really let Hu Chunhua eat sh*t and embarrass herself? Zhao Yun was a little impatient. If you don't agree, then forget it. I don't have that much time to waste with you. Okay. Of course it's okay. Girl, don't be anxious. Hu Chunhua hurriedly said and then poked Zhao Baoshan. Old man, hurry up and say something. Otherwise, I'll eat sh*t. Hey, third brother's wife, what are you thinking? Do you want to move out? Zhao Baoshan sighed and looked at Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao. Being called out by Zhao Baoshan, Zhao Tianhua didn't know what to say. If he said that he wanted to move out, wouldn't he hurt his parents' feelings? Father, I... Chapter 394. In the past few years, Liang Jinxiao didn't have the opportunity to help Zhao Yun because the third branch hadn't been separated. Everything belonged to old Zhao's family and wasn't something they could use as they wished. Every time they gave something, they had to be sneaky, as if they were thieves. If the third branch didn't seize the opportunity this time, it wouldn't be so easy to separate in the future. Zhao Baoshan looked deeply at Liang Jinxiao. Third brother's wife was usually soft-hearted, but now she actually said such words. Since third brother's wife has said so, I have no reason to not separate. Then the third branch will be separated from our old Zhao's family today. Zhao Baoshan finally relented, but his expression was a little lonely. Just as he was about to talk about how the third branch would be separated, Feng Zhangxia suddenly asked, Yun, is Daodu really your son? When Feng Zhangxia said this, old Zhao's family finally reacted. If Daodu was the son of young Master Shitzi, then the third branch would be at a disadvantage if they were separated. It was naturally good to have a little relationship with young Master Shitzi. Zhao Yun's eyes flashed with a touch of complexity. Feng Zhangxia deliberately asked this, probably because she had some ulterior motives. Of course not. If he was young Master Shitzi's son, would I have suffered these 3 years? Feng Zhangxia thought about it and agreed. If he was young Master Shitzi's son, would Zhao Yun still come back to the countryside? Mu Yanfeng probably said it casually that day to take Daodu away. Okay, there's no need to ask about other things. Let's talk about the separation first. Zhao Baoshan brought the matter to the main topic. He was a little afraid that Daodu's identity would be discovered. Okay. Old Zhao's family responded. Coincidentally, Li Zheng was present today. There were many villagers who came as well. With Li Zheng as a witness, there would be no disputes after the family split. Old Zhao's family didn't have many things. After some discussion, they decided to give the third branch 1 mu of paddy field and 1 mu of dry land. As for the rooms, the third bedroom would still be in the original one, but the kitchen would have to be rebuilt. As for the money, Hu Chunhua gritted her teeth and took out 800 copper coins and gave it to the third branch. The money was enough for the third branch for a while. Old Zhao's family also got some of the food. The third branch was satisfied with this result. At least with so many things, they could support old Zhao's family for a while. The most important thing was that they could move away from old Zhao's A-class family. Yun, look, we've already broken up with this family. Can we just forget about your grandmother? Zhao Baoshan asked. Zhao Yun nodded. Then let's forget about it. But it doesn't mean that we'll forget about it the next time. I know, Yun. Your grandmother won't go to your place to make trouble if she has nothing to do. Okay. Zhao Yun responded faintly. Seeing that Zhao Yun and Mu Yanfeng had left, Hu Chunhua was sure that she was safe. She heaved a sigh of relief and sat down on the ground. Mother, what's the matter? Li Chuiying went up and asked politely. Zhao Xinhui also put on a rare act. He went up to Hu Chunhua and asked her with concern, Mother, what's wrong with you? They've already left. Why are you still so scared? Hu Chunhua waved her hand. You silly girl, you don't know. My legs are still weak. Hurry up and help me up. Chapter 395. The last time she came back, Zhao Xinhui was severely scolded by Zhao Baoshan. Zhao Baoshan scolded her for being heartless and making her own mother eat sh*t. Zhao Xinhui was worried that Zhao Baoshan was in a bad mood today and that she would be scolded again, so she hurriedly pretended to be concerned about Hu Chunhua. When Zhao Xinhui approached Hu Chunhua, she smelled the stench of urine and couldn't help but frown. Zhao Xinhui frowned and hurriedly let go of Hu Chunhua. There was a hint of disdain in her voice. Mother, have you not bathed in a long time? Why do you still smell like urine? Hu Chunhua stretched her nose and sniffed. She asked, Really? I just bathed the day before yesterday. How can I smell like urine again? Did you not wash yourself clean? How can that be? If you didn't wash yourself clean, it means that you didn't wipe off the dust on your body. It's impossible that you can't get rid of the smell of urine. But mother, you smell it on your body. Second sister-in-law, smell it. Li Chuiying leaned over and sniffed. Mother, it does smell a little stinky. Hu Chunhua was puzzled. What was going on? Let's not talk about this for now. Second sister-in-law, hurry, and help me up. Li Chuiying endured the stench of urine and helped Hu Chunhua up. Just as he helped Hu Chunhua up, Zhao Xinhui exclaimed, Mother, you peed in your pants. Li Chuiying also looked at Hu Chunhua's butt and found that it was wet. There was a wet mark next to Hu Chunhua's butt. It was obvious that she had urinated. No wonder Hu Chunhua smelled like urine. It turned out to be because of this. I peed in my pants. Hu Chunhua opened her mouth. She was also a little surprised. How could she have peed in her pants? Her daughter's voice was so loud that everyone heard it. The villagers who were about to leave couldn't help but cover their mouths and laugh when they heard Zhao Xinhui's words. This old woman was so old, but she still peed in her pants. How could she be so useless? Mother, why don't you see it yourself? Your pants are so wet. Zhao Xinhui complained. Hu Chunhua touched her butt and found it was indeed wet. She was probably too scared and didn't even know that she peed in her pants. Hu Chunhua felt very embarrassed for a moment. Hearing the laughter coming from all directions, she felt even more embarrassed. If it wasn't for her daughter shouting so loudly, they wouldn't have found out. Now, she had lost a lot of face. Don't shout so loudly next time. It'll be so embarrassing if other people find out. Zhao Xinhui curled her lips. I know, Mother. I shouted out in a moment of excitement. Your hand touched my pants. Don't touch me. Zhao Xinhui said and moved away immediately. The more Zhao Baoshan looked at Zhao Xinhui, the more he disliked her. How could he raise such a heartless girl? He didn't know whether Zhao Xinhui was mentally retarded or not. She didn't know what she should do and what she shouldn't do. Father, I'll go and see if Yuner needs any help. I'll go and help her. Zhao Xinhui said to Zhao Baoshan. It was rare to see Zhao Xinhui being so sensible. It would be good for her to help Zhao Yuner, so Zhao Baoshan nodded. Go ahead. Sure. Zhao Xinhui ran away excitedly. Chapter 396. However, Zhao Xinhui's intention was not to help Zhao Yuner. Instead, she wanted to take the opportunity to get close to Mu Yanfeng. If she didn't find more opportunities to hang out in front of Mu Yanfeng, how could Mu Yanfeng remember her? Zhao Ping saw through Zhao Xinhui's thoughts and hurriedly caught up with Zhao Xinhui's footsteps. Master, I'll also go and help Yun. Seeing these two people who were usually as lazy as maggots suddenly say such words, Zhao Baoshan couldn't help but shake his head. He felt that it was really strange. Zhao Yun and Mu Yanfeng returned to Zhao Yun's dilapidated house. Everything in the house had been rummaged through, so it was a bit messy. She had to tidy it up again. Looking at the original vegetable garden that had been ruined, Zhao Yun felt an indescribable heartache. Not only had some of the vegetables been pulled out, but chickens and ducks had also been put in. The leaves of the vegetables that had just sprouted were riddled with holes. Although these vegetables weren't worth much, they were Zhao Yun's painstaking efforts after all. After working so hard for so many days, the things were ruined. She definitely felt bad. Zhao Yun first went to the house to tidy it up. She arranged everything neatly, then took a broom and swept it inside and out again. Yun, I'll go and fetch water for you. Mu Yanfeng said. There was no water in the water tank at home. Wiping the table and wiping the stove required water. Mu Yanfeng went out to fetch water. At this time, the third branch was also busy dividing and cleaning things in old Zhao's house. Her two younger brothers didn't come over. Otherwise, Zhao Tianan would definitely help her carry water. Zhao Yun was a woman, so it was still a bit difficult for her to carry water back. Seeing Mu Yanfeng bring it up, Zhao Yun said, Mu Yanfeng, you don't know where the river is. Let me go. It's okay. Dao can take me there. This kind of work is supposed to be done by a man. Seeing Mu Yanfeng insist, Zhao Yun smiled and said, then you go. Let Dao take you. Yes. Zhao Yun was worried. Mu Yanfeng had been pampered for so many years. Would he know how to do this kind of rough work? Although carrying water wasn't a difficult task, if it wasn't done well, it would be quite strenuous. If it wasn't done well, it would be easy for the water to splash onto himself. Daddy, let's go. Dao ran ahead excitedly. At this moment, Dao couldn't wait to drag Mu Yanfeng to stroll around the village and show everyone that he also had a daddy. And such a tall and his daddy. Yes. Mu Yanfeng carried 2 buckets of water and began to walk out of the door. When Zhao Yun saw Mu Yanfeng carrying buckets of water, she felt that he was a bit out of place. Mu Yanfeng's temperament was really too good. He didn't look like someone who would do this kind of rough work in the countryside. This kind of work should be done by the mountain men in the countryside. Mu Yanfeng seemed to feel Zhao Yun's scorching gaze. After walking a few steps, he turned around and asked, Yun, why are you looking at me like that? Zhao Yun smiled and said, nothing. I just think that you look a little funny. Funny? Is that so? Mu Yanfeng raised his eyebrows. Yes, a little. Haha, it's because this heir also looks very handsome when carrying buckets of water, right? Mu Yanfeng said somewhat narcissistically. Zhao Yun knew that Mu Yanfeng was just joking with her. She still rolled her eyes and said, narcissist. Mu Yanfeng's laughter became louder. He felt that joking with Zhao Yun actually brought the two of them closer. Only people who were familiar with each other would do this, right? You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.